Good evening, everybody. Monday. And I think this 5 o'clock might be better for me. We get more news out and all that stuff. I had to cut up all my meetup today, my individual daily dinner stuff. Did all that. So I think I'm going to stay. I might do 5 to 9. I don't know. Because I think that might be better. The evening time. Uh-oh. Hey, somebody's here. He must he must know something that what I got to play tonight. Oh, Flying Eagles early too. That's good. Well, my team got embarrassed last night. They lost the worst game of the year. Terrible. It was over by halftime. And yes, we do. We got Mel. We got Billy. 20 something minutes. We got uh cash video that's important to get out. The hospital needed, and we got our military guy that had one out on Iran, and we got breaking news. There's a shooting somewhere in San Diego. I don't know if Final, can you check up on that? See what that's about for me, please? Thanks. Hey, Paul. And plus, today was hot. It was so cold yesterday. Now today hit about 87, I think. Now it's cooling down again. Well, actually, it's 85. Severe thunderstorms watch until 8 p.m. I gotta find what channel. And I got updates on new fraud and a new update on Omar is in deep trouble. You won't believe how much money she got the fraud on. If you have a crack like I said something from Fox, Colonial. That's the only video I saw. Right here. Situation at the Islamic Center of San Diego, the 805 and Balboa. That's where this is. That mosque is on Extreme Street. So you see that. Here we go. I got right something here. Off of the off and on ramps, and it looks like, as Anna mentioned, Balboa is totally blocked off. Earlier, we saw the off ramps. CHP reporting the on and off ramps north and southbound side of it. I'm going to check that real quick before we start the intel.
active shooting on the scene. Then SDPD said just after 1, the threat has been neutralized.
Yep.
Just to give you some perspective, this is the largest mosque in
I think
San
there's
Diego
one
County.
last
It's been
night,
here for
Kay. Do you see
decades,
the
I
one
believe
from
about
last
40
night about
years,
Walmart?
thousands of members according to their website. And then the school there just to the side, you don't notice it as you drive by because it's not big and tall like that big gorgeous white dome building that they have, but just right there and just across the street is the Chabad school.
I wonder what this is
a lot
about,
of children
you guys.
just right here in this intersection.
Islamic
So a lot
Center.
of parents rushing to that scene,
What's
terrified.
that?
But what we know from the Islamic school is that all children and teachers have been evacuated and they are safe right now.
And yeah, the school right across the street, Cavad Charter School, is a Hebrew school, Spanish-speaking school. So we heard from a grandparent who is there waiting to collect her grandkids. And she said, you know, she is waiting and she will wait there until she's able to hold them in her arms. And that's what we've heard from so many parents and grandparents who were showing up there. They want to make sure their kids are with them and safe. And right now, this is the latest from Caltrans. So there you see it on your screen as far as the traffic is concerned, which is what we just reported. Balboa Avenue off ramps for northbound and southbound 805 closed due to police activity. So you're going to have to go past that Balboa exit to the next one to be able to get to where you need to go. But please avoid Balboa, the 805. It's all blocked off of Balboa to let law enforcement do the work that they need to do to make sure everything's safe, to make sure they're gathering all the evidence that they need to continue with their investigation. Also, want to point out we do have multiple crews.
Just another shooting. Okay. Hopefully Lucy getting her mom all set up. Hi, Mom. Lucy, Mom. Hopefully she'll be getting in. Maria should be coming in. Samantha and all them must be lurking. Angie, Greg, and all them. 4 Eyes. And our new people. We haven't seen our new people come in. So we got the Trump speech yesterday, and I missed out on the 2. Tulsi made a speech, and so did Rubio. And I got Robert 2K. I believe it's a new one. It's 6 minutes.
Continental Congress called for a day of humility, fasting, and prayer. Just weeks before they declared independence, our founders didn't stride forward in pride. They knelt. They asked for God's mercy. They asked for his guidance because they knew that the cause before them was beyond their own strength.
High price, Greg.
Now today, exactly 250 years later, we gather here on the National Mall to do the same, to give thanks, to ask for forgiveness, and to humbly ask once more for God's mercy and guidance as we enter the next 250 years of this republic. Now, our founders knew their time was short. They knew that the road ahead was uncertain. The foundation of our independence is our dependence upon the Supreme Soul, who's the Supreme Controller. Now, all of us and all of our leaders need to get on our knees and prostrate ourselves before the Supreme Lord, acknowledging that we are totally dependent upon him for our success, indeed, for our survival. Too often, leaders in this world have our eyes covered by pride born out of our relative power, fame, or authority. We lose sight of the fact that we are tiny and our time on this planet is extremely short. And yet we see ourselves as the controllers competing with each other over who is number one. But the truth is, there's only one number one, and that's God. Our leaders 250 years ago knew this. They knew that we could not rely on our own strength, our own fame, our own power, our own intelligence, but we're completely dependent upon God's favor. And so they humbly approached that day of fasting 250 years ago, asking God for his protection, his guidance, his mercy. We are at this time totally dependent upon God to light our path so that we can successfully navigate the troubled waters that we are in into a future where our children and their children and generations for hundreds and thousands of years can live in peace, freedom, and prosperity. So on this day, let us humble ourselves before God. Let us beg for his mercy and guidance. Let us be willing to forgive those who've offended us as we ask God to forgive us for our trespasses. And let us all today, in the privacy of our own homes and hearts, take shelter in God's love and remember him. Aloha.
Okay, that was Tulsi. Now Rubio. We'll be getting them out here in a little while here. We're doing the short ones first. What happened? Ah.
To humble themselves in preparation for the coming war, with true penitence of heart and the most reverent devotion publicly to acknowledge the overruling providence of God. In 3.5 months' time, the colonists would be in open revolt against the most powerful empire in the history of the world. Many, on both sides of the Atlantic, thought their cause was a suicide mission. The founders were not naive men. They knew their lives were on the line. That was the premise of Benjamin Franklin's dark joke after signing the Declaration of Independence, where he said, "We must indeed all hang together, or most assuredly, we shall all hang separately." They had no guarantees of victory. They knew that what they were trying to do had never been done before in human history. But with the dark storm clouds of war looming on the horizon, they did what Christians have always done, across place and time for 2,000 years. They turned their eyes to heaven and placed their fate in the hands of God. It is no coincidence that America, from the very beginning, has occupied a unique and exceptional place in world history. Before the Christian West, most societies, and civilizations for that matter, thought in stagnant cycles: the flooding of the Nile, the return of the rains, the cycle of the harvest. History for them was a wheel to
That's a
nowhere.
good question.
It turned and turned only to end up back where it began. But our faith calls us outwards into the limitless darkness of the unknown. It tells us to go forth and preach the gospel to the world as a witness unto all nations, unto the ends of the earth. From that command came America. Our nation, more than any other in history, was shaped by this Christian idea. We saw it at work already in 1630, more than a century before the Revolution, when John Winthrop stood on the deck of the Arabella in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and preached a sermon to his fellow Puritan colonists. "We shall be as a city upon a hill," he told them. "The eyes of all people are upon us."
Yep.
That same faith pushed America further to new frontiers. It was the engine of westward expansion. Who will respond to the call from beyond the Rocky Mountains, one reverend wrote in a public message to the American churches in 1833, calling for a wave of missionaries to leave the comforts of civilization and spread the gospel in the wilderness. Countless Americans answered that call. It was the same faith that was at work when Samuel Morse sent the first long-distance telegraph message in 1844. His message was a verse from the book of Numbers, "What hath God wrought?" And on Christmas Eve of 1968, 3 American astronauts orbited the moon. They were the first men in history to witness an Earthrise from lunar orbit, to look back at the blue marble of our home from 250,000 miles away. The world was watching. It was the largest television audience in the history of the world up to that point. And what did they say? They opened the book of Genesis. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. This is who we are. It is who we have always been. America is still a young nation measured against the record of history. And from the beginning, we have carried the belief that our country represents something new in the world. But the soul of our nation has always been rooted in an ancient faith.
Good, well said speech there. So I got the next two short ones is Benny has an update with Tina Peters on TikTok. And then we'll get to Robert, 6 minutes.
She's a 73-year-old mother and grandmother, comes from an incredible patriotic family in Colorado. She was an election observer and county clerk in the 2020 election, and she witnessed literal voter fraud in the horrifically run Colorado election, where the Secretary of State actually left the key card for all electronic voting machines open sourced. So anyone from anywhere could log in and change the results of the election. That's an absolute matter of fact. And Tina Peters called that out, blew the whistle, and was thrown in jail for it. Even though she had cancer, even though she may die any day, she was tossed in prison for 9 years. She's a 2020 election denier, CNN says. She faces 10 counts. And felony counts, influence, public service, blah, blah, blah. So they threw the book at her. This beautiful, patriotic grandmother, these Democrats, they're literal demons. President Trump has been a champion of Tina Peters for a long time. So have we on our program. We've had many members of Congress on, but Lauren Boebert's one that comes to mind, who's been a champion of this issue. And now we have incredible news to report for you, ladies and gentlemen. Tina Peters, 73-year-old with cancer, given a 9-year jail sentence because she caught Democrats cheating. Free Tina, says Donald Trump. He said this just last month. Free Tina. Free Tina, says President Trump just a few minutes ago. Well, it turns out that Trump did it. Tina Peters has been freed, or is about to be set free. Tina Peters is leaving jail with a clean record after the Colorado governor, a Democrat named Jared Polis, gave her clemency. Republican former election clerk in prison for crimes related to the efforts to overturn the 2020 election will receive clemency from Jared Polis, soon to be released from custody. Polis exclusively told CNN. Here we go. Oh, look at that. They still use election denier. This was published today, and they still are using the term election denier. What scum these people are. Tina Peters is going free. God bless President Trump. I spoke with Jared Polis about the decision he made to cut down Tina Peters' sentence so that she could be out of prison this month. He says it comes down to freedom of speech. Wow. Good for you. Tina Peters will be released from jail. She'll receive clemency from Jared. This is
Second part.
Tina Peters' sentence is a long overdue step towards justice. Tina Peters, a Gold Star mother who lost her Navy SEAL son in service to our nation, dedicated election integrity advocate and former Mesa clerk, was subjected to politically charged prosecution that resulted in a 9-year sentence. To make an example out of her, I'm proud of her, the relentless pursuit. And now it turns out this outcome would not have been possible without continued pressure from President Trump. And there's so many things you can do. You know, you can hold up federal funds. You can say you're not going to get this water right or that right or whatever. You know, you can do these kind of things when you control federal bureaucracy. And senators are seething over this. Here's Colorado Senator Michael Bennett. No testosterone found in this guy. Look at this. I vehemently disagree with Jared Polis' decision to commute Tina Peters' sentence. She broke the law, undermined our elections, and was convicted by a jury of her peers. With Trump's continue to attack Colorado, we must stand strong. Institutions of shut up. Dude.
Shut up.
Thank you, Governor Polis.
You starting to
This
see it
from
now,
an
okay?
account, Tina Peters. Allegedly, this is real Tina Peters. Let's see. Follows me. I'll follow right back. Hopefully, she can come on the show. Okay. I've faced many threats, so I want to be clear that I condemn any and all bullying, threats, or acts of violence, voters, county clerks, election workers, concerned citizens like myself. Upon release, I plan to do my best with legal means to support election integrity and based on my own personal experience to elevate cause of prison reform to help ensure that the detention system is more fair and equitable for people of all ages. My experience has given me a perspective. Okay. I'm grateful for the second chance. Early release. Look forward to doing good in the world. She would have died in jail, most likely. And this is what these people plan on doing. Just in case you're wondering, like the people that are like, no, Kamala Harris would have been fine. This is what they were going to do to your grandmother, your wife, your mom. Oh, no, it'll be fine. I wish Kamala would have won. Shut up. Shut up. That's like, do you realize by doing that, by saying that, by apologizing for supporting Donald Trump or whatever, that you are guaranteeing that Tina Peters dies in prison, among many other horrible crimes against humanity? Look at this. Prayers and pressure worked. Tina will immediately be freed. We finally won.
JJ, we got Bell tonight.
Our wonderful Tina to come out of a jail, in a high-intensity jail, because she caught people cheating on an election, and they said she was cheating. She wasn't cheating. She went over, she looked at one of the election scams going on, and because she did that, they put her in jail for 9 years.
Polis. Today's
Okay, latest update with Tina there. I got you another video I sent. You remember this one, Gay?
Come to our understanding. I know I said before that we were working to, as far as the organization at the Alamo, we were hoping to transfer administrative authority back to the Daughters of the Republic of Texas. Unfortunately, after gaining more information and gathering more insight into how they are structured, they have basically their only job was to maintain the records and keep them private and keep them secure. And the Daughters of the Republic of Texas have turned over the all of their archives to the public library system. So now they've been made public. They're no longer secure. So they're no longer able to be used in law. So they're now public records. They're not private North American records. And the Daughters have gone and incorporated themselves as a 501c3, which puts them in civil jurisdiction. So they're basically
New one, Gay?
They have no value. So when we come back to things, the only organization that we found that actually is structured correctly and has their crap together enough to actually do anything is the Michigan General Assembly. Had discussion with them, telling them that should the Alamo transfer, we're probably going to have to put them in charge because they're the only ones that have kept their stuff separate and private. And they are recognized by the state of Michigan. So that's that. Another thing I want to talk to you about the data centers. There's all this hype about the data centers. You guys need to understand something. When I said a long time ago, international common law will be synchronized to AI, which means verdicts will synchronize the law. One of the main problems that we have is that the states and the chartered counties have control of the utilities. Okay? That was what was transferred to the railroad companies when they became construction companies, and they transferred those to the states. The states of, okay, as you know them, the states of,
I can't remember,
are basically an NGO, Indian NGO, Indian like India, NGO, private railroad company. That's what they are. Private construction railroad company. Okay? So when you're thinking of the state of, you say the state of Texas, the state of this, the state of that, that's what you're talking about. You're talking about a non-governmental organization, private railroad company out of India that's under Universal Commercial Code, which is Indian law. The only way to to get them transferred is to put the data centers in and transfer the utilities to the data center so that everything runs through the data center, which is why they're talking about the amount of water and the amount of this. Yes, because they're going to be handling the local water supply from the utilities. They're not going to pay taxes because it's non-taxable. So, and for those of you who don't know the proper term for an organization that doesn't pay taxes, it's called non-taxable. Non-taxable. Okay? So keep that in mind. Third thing, or last thing, people have been asking and asking. They want to know more. We've had people that put vaults in and they're getting their stuff. And like I said, property's getting ready to transfer. I was just filling out one of the deed addendums today for an organization that doesn't have a tribunal. So I have to be the representative. The administrative body locally can't because that's not put together yet. So I have to put that paperwork together, and I was working on that today for one of them. The people have asked, they want to know more, they want to learn more, and we are going to answer that call. We are finishing up putting together an instructional session subscription that that'll have private Q&As. We're going to do at least twice a month to start and see how it goes. But basically, you subscribe, you'll receive a text. We just finished the paperwork, so you can receive a text when the session's coming up with the private code, and then you can come into the session, and it'll be a Q&A. It's not going to be a lecture like, here's our class for today. It's going to be, what are the things coming up? What are the questions? And try to get that that part started. So it has to be a subscription for you. So you guys don't understand, we don't get funded except internally. So there's no we don't have agreements with we don't get grants, we don't get federal funding. There's no kickbacks on Telegram. We don't accept any of that stuff. No corporations, no businesses, no nothing. We generate funds internally through the services that we provide. This instructional session is a service. It's an instructional service to help people that don't really grasp what we're doing or how we're doing it or what we're doing, and they can get educated and get up to speed so that they can start to do the stuff that they knew where they are, where they live. So that's it. I guess that's it.
Sorry if I replayed that. Some people might have missed it. Last night, I believe Billy came out okay. I don't think I played it. She had something on Walmart.
And once you've got it.
Welcome to Truth by Billy
This is,
Bean.
12
Today's
minutes.
date, May 17, 2026, time in Texas, about 1 p.m. And thanks for like, subscribe, and share. Could it be true that the U.S. Will be out of motor oil at the end of this month? We'll talk about it.
You guys remember this one?
Is Iran testing a plutonium
know
nuke?
if we played it or not.
And the U.S. military appears to stage for a special forces event in the Middle East. So I have this from a Patriot subscriber. I believe in response to my recent video talking about all the conflicts going on in the world And he says it sounds like all hell is breaking loose. Gal, we live in biblical times. I agree, and I only covered the four main conflicts. The U.S., Israel, and Iran, Ukraine and Russia, Cuba, and several others. But there are up to 200 areas globally where one human is killing another human. So, yes, I agree with President Trump. It's time to stop the killing. These are all souls that are involved. So, yeah, it's good to live in peace. And I have this from a Patriot subscriber in Florida. I don't know what is going on, but the prices are so high. People can't afford to feed their families. And we see prices are demolishing people left and right. And I agree. And now we have this from U.S. Intel. So I've put out several videos with initial bits and pieces information we've been getting about the availability of motor oil in the U.S. and other lubricants for cars and trucks. Now more news. So the last tanker of crude oil from the Middle East to reach the U.S. docked in Long Beach on May 3rd. So we've had no more shipments of crude oil from the Middle East. And May 12, according to U.S. Intel, already suppliers inside the U.S. were beginning to tell their retail arms about an unavailability coming very soon of motor oil and other lubricants for cars and trucks. So we had May 12, Mobil and Shell telling Costco, Walmart, AutoZone, and other O'Reilly and other car and truck suppliers that they foresaw a major drop in the availability of motor oil by the end of May. We have May 17, U.S. Intel. Toyota is releasing bulletins about their Toyota vehicles that recommending the temporary use of OW20 motor oil in place of OW8 and OW16 because the Shell plant in Qatar is offline. So that means that certain Toyota cars and trucks that use certain motor oils are being directed by Toyota to temporarily use a different type of oil.
6 minutes.
So that's going on. And we have this. So we have the leader of Germany, Merz, who just about a week ago took a poke at President Trump. Now Merz is taking a poke at the American people and the American education system, saying he wouldn't let his children come to America to be educated. Now, we know that Merz is a German leader who is totally focused on all money in Germany, going to weapons and German military to begin a coalition of Germany and other European nations in war against Russia very soon in the future. And while he's concentrating on weapons and military, he totally disregards any needs of the German people and takes pokes at President Trump verbally and publicly and the American people. I get this to say to Merz. how did those dust-ups between Germany and Russia work out in the past? And as for America, shut up.
Oh, there's that word again.
So that's going on. And we have this from Israeli News Live. There have been 2 earthquakes within the past 12 to 16 hours near Tehran in the magnitude 4. And it's being put forth by some sources that it's believed that Iran is testing a plutonium nuke. Now, all we've been hearing that Iran had is uranium. Who could be the source of plutonium for, excuse me, Iran? That would, excuse me, most likely be Russia. And we've even had Iran in peace talk meetings with the U.S.
Commercial.
State that they had uranium at 60%, and they could easily juice it up to 90% weapons grade in a few weeks. Well, now a source from the Middle East is putting forth that it's possible Iran is testing a plutonium nuke. So that's going on. And we have what's up with shipping. The Strait of Hormuz, we know, continues to be blocked. That's why we're seeing a shortage of motor oil in the U.S. and other lubricants for cars and trucks. And Sal M. of What's Up with Shipping puts out, CENTCOM states that the U.S. blockade has turned around 78 Iranian or Chinese ships trying to run the blockade and has disabled 4. And that we're seeing around Karg Island, that's an island adjacent to Iran's coastline, where Iran has all their oil pipelines running to this island. Then the tankers pull up to offload the oil. This is their main staging area for their oil shipments. Up to 80 or 90% of Iran's oil is shipped off of this Karg Island. And it's we've heard in the past day or so of a oil spill taking place near Karg Island. It's believed that Iran is out of tankers and out of storage for oil. They don't want to shut down the wells because that could stop them from producing in the future. So they're dumping the oil into the Persian Gulf. And we have this from the Navy Channel. Yes, within the past 7 to 10 days, we saw a Navy ghost ship called the MV Ocean Trader docking at Diego Garcia. It's believed that the U.S. is prepping for a special forces event in Iran, and this ship carries 159 special forces, including Navy SEALs,
About a minute and a half.
plus docking in Diego Garcia. We have 2 Marine expeditionary ships carrying 2,082nd Airborne troops. It's being put forth the possibility that the U.S. may take over Karg Island or other islands near Iran that Iran is using as a toll booth operation to let certain ships pass through the Strait of Hormuz in exchange for $2 million, all of which is illegal. according to maritime law. We have this also from Israeli News Live, that today, just in the past hour or so, Iran has hit a nuke reactor in the UAE with drones. It's believed this is in retaliation for the UAE and the US hitting Iran's nuclear reactors in the past. So this concludes my flash update. Apparently, it would be good to buy motor oil for your car or truck and the filters because sources indicate there's also a shortage of oil filters. So it might be good to stock up. I love you, and I'll see you soon.
Okay, sorry about that one from last night. And some people might have missed it, like AJ. Now I got today's one. Oh, God dang it. Ah.
Fixed time in Texas about 1 p.m. And thanks for like, subscribe, and share.
22 minutes.
Some of the things we'll cover: the U.S. to stop exporting oil, Cuba, 3,000 drones with a plot to hit Gitmo.
That's today's, you guys. This is today, 2 hours ago. So she's talking a little bit more on the oil.
And Florida. President Trump is wielding the 2020 hammer plus. So let's get started. So we have from space weather that we have a giant sunspot on the opposite side of the sun that's now generating multiple X's and M's and CMEs. It will turn to face the Earth in about 5 to 6 days, or about May 23.
Coming up here a little bit.
We have this from Real Raw News. So we've been hearing that Cuba has 300 drones, but that number is off by a factor of 10. They actually have 3,000 drones. Now, where would Cuba get 3,000 drones and have the fuel to launch them and the launchers? My perspective is that would be the embedded Russian and Chinese troops in Cuba. And this information had come out recently, and we had on May 9 in a SCIF meeting, CIA Director John Ratcliffe, DNI Tulsi Gabbard, and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth regarding the intel that had come to them that Cuba has 3,000 drones and it has a plan to hit Gitmo, which is a U.S. military prison on the opposite side of Cuba, away from the U.S., and also to hit the Florida Keys. So an action plan was taken, and we have then from May 9 to May 10, we had 13 U.S. military planes taking off from the Leeward Islands to Gitmo to evac U.S. military dependents, non-essential contractors. And we had then on May 11, 12, the U.S. military installing around Gitmo THAAD and Patriot air defense system, plus Phalanx cannons that can take down drones, plus a USS destroyer Preble was put in that area that's equipped with a laser to take down drones. Apparently, the intel that came to the U.S. government, they considered believable and credible. So these actions are taking place. And we have this.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
We have now, President Trump is wielding his 2020 hammer. We know in 2020, we saw many nations involved in a coup in the U.S. presidential election of 2020. And we're seeing these same nations being hammered. That includes Venezuela, Cuba, Iran, Canada, Russia, China, Serbia, Italy, Germany, plus. So that's going on. And we have a congressional hearing now going on led by Rand Paul, Republican, Kentucky, as reported by Forbes. This is regarding the COVID that also took place in 2020, the origin and the cover-up by certain people associated with the U.S. government. We have information coming out that's being revealed in the congressional hearing intel from the CIA, the NSA, the FBI, that the COVID was a bioweapon, as the CIA had consistently put out from 2021 to 2023. That was during the JB years, which was not released to the American people. Although I had been putting that out on my channel, as had many other alternative news sites. And so now in this congressional hearing, we will hear that COVID was a bioweapon juiced up in a lab in Wuhan, China, and facilitated in the U.S. by Fauci and others. So that's going on with the information being hidden from the American people. And we have this from U.S. Intel. There has been this morning a 5.2 earthquake in China. It was in their state, Ganshi, in the city of Luzhan, that they had 13 buildings collapse. So far, they have released information on 2 deaths and 1 missing. And from this city, 7,000 people are evacuating. It has taken down trains and due to damage to railroad rails. So that's going on. And we have this from U.S. Intel, that with the closure of the Strait of Hormuz in Iran, in the close to Iran, the closure of the Strait of Hormuz by Iran has taken down the supply of oil globally 2 out of 10 barrels. The U.S. will also be experiencing, as I've put out in previous videos, shortages in car and truck motor oil and filters and other lubricant products used commonly in the U.S. for cars and trucks. Now it's being put out that the U.S. will stop exporting oil in 3 weeks, sometime in June. We know that many countries who could not get oil from the Middle East have been buying oil from the U.S., but that is going to stop in June. The U.S. will rely on their own oil supply for the benefit of the American people. We have this coming out from Aramco that since the Strait of Hormuz has been closed, the global supply of oil has lost per day 100 million barrels. So that's going on. And we have this from Benny Johnson. Also part of the 2020 hammer President Trump is wielding. So we have information coming out about the coup that took place in the presidential election of 2020.
A new era of American shipbuilding is here.
Every student deserves an education they can count on, one that delivers results and opens doors. For more than
with the FBI securing records from Fulton County, Georgia, also Maricopa County, Arizona, that there was indeed rigging. The U.S. government and the U.S. military also have evidence that the Dominion vote counting machines were rigged. And as I began to put out late in 2020, many nations were involved in this coup, and we see these same nations being hit by the 2020 hammer. We also have information about Tina Peters being released from prison in Colorado. She was an election official who was charged with election malfunction when all she was doing was trying to protect state voter records according to federal guidelines. Recall, Colorado is the state that tried to have President Trump removed from the presidential ballot for the 2024 election. She has now been released. President Trump and the American people are on the move. And we have this. Multiple investigations are now going on in Arizona, Georgia, and California regarding voter fraud by the DOJ and other U.S. government agencies. It is coming out that the Dominion vote counting machines were rigged, and that people involved with this include Todd Blanche of the DOJ, Tulsi Gabbard, DNI, also the FBI and CIA. And we have this from Israeli News Live, from a Middle East contact, that just before the 2020 hammer hit Iran, February 28, there had been a meeting between the U.S. and Iran, including Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner, and talks were made about Iran's uranium supply being Iran maintained they had only enriched uranium up to 3.6% for medical use, But the U.S. was holding intel that they had juiced it up to 60% and could easily take that to 90% enrichment weapons grade uranium. At that time, no mention was made in the meeting between the U.S. and Iran concerning plutonium. As I put out in my last video, it's now believed that Iran has plutonium nukes and that they are testing them, and that the likely source for the plutonium in Iran is Russia. We have this from Max Afterburner that Iran yesterday hit UAE nuclear reactor plant. The UAE was able to take down 2 out of 3 of the drones. One hit an electrical power source to the reactor. The IAEA has examined the reactor and states there are no radiation leaks. So that's going on. And now we have this. Also, with regard to that hit by Iran yesterday, we had up in the air F-16 and F-35s. And we have this from Benny Johnson. CIA Director John Ratcliffe, Wednesday. Okay, so this was new information for me. So today is Monday. We know that last week on Wednesday, President Trump left for China. On Wednesday, it's being put forth that John Ratcliffe and other CIA officials went to the office of supposedly their boss, Tulsi Gabbard, Director of National Intelligence.
Whether you're a professional or just love getting hands-on with your home projects, Harbor
and took 40 boxes of records regarding MK Ultra CIA programs and also JFK files. Now, at this time, I don't have insight into why the CIA went to Tulsi Gabbard's office and secured the information. Something is up with this. And I have this from a Patriot subscriber. Yes, I did a misspeak regarding the primary in Louisiana over the weekend. There were 3 Republican candidates running. One of them was the sitting Republican senator from Louisiana, Bill Cassidy. Bill Cassidy only received 24% of the vote, so he is out of the running in November. Instead, two Republicans will be running for the Senate position from Louisiana, including the individual President Trump is endorsing Letlow. And I have this from a Patriot subscriber talking about magma increasing all over the earth. And I had that word from the Lord in 2020, in the fall of 2020, from God, that magma inside the earth was rising in all directions. So my Patriot subscriber puts this out, that due to the weakening of the electromagnetic shield on Earth, we are receiving more gamma rays from space, which is impacting the magma inside the Earth, which is now all rising in all directions, impacting fault lines and increasing earthquakes. So that's going on. And we have this.
Gary,
we have regarding Cuba. This was from Enforcer. This was last night. The information coming out was that Cuba had 300 drones. Now with this new intel information coming out, Cuba has actually 3,000 drones, but it's also being put out. They have a plot to hit Gitmo and the Florida Keys. So that's going on. And we have this. We have that Russia, Moscow is on fire. So we see the U.S. hammering Russia via Ukraine. And last night, Russia was hit by up to 1,500 drones from Ukraine, hitting oil refineries around Moscow, and that many which caused the Russian air defense system to malfunction, and Russian air defense missiles were then malfunctioning and turning and hitting Russian apartment buildings. So that's going on. And also U.S. intel during President Trump's trip to China. There were significant discussions between President Trump and President Xi regarding Taiwan. And we have this. Iran has now named an envoy to China, the government speaker Ghalibaf. And we're seeing in Moscow many significant hits yesterday, one of which hit a warehouse underneath a highway. The fire is so intense, the highway on the perimeter of Moscow is now collapsing. And we have this, that
Moving.
the Ukraine drones are now flying in formation. Apparently, this is a step up in drone technology. Flying the drones in formation increases the lethality. And also that a Moscow oil refinery is on fire. So that's going on. And we have this from Tusi TV.
We're going to have now coming up here an hour 20 right after Billy.
Yesterday, there was a call between President Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel regarding actions by the IRGC. The IRGC is now using mosque as IRGC military locations. So expect to see many mosques being hit in the next wave of hits by the U.S. and Israel. It's believed a ground invasion by the U.S. is imminent, and that the U.S. military may try to take control of Karg Island. So that's going on. The IRGC now is arming pro-IRGC civilians with something like an AK-47, and they are teaching the civilians how to use these weapons on TV. What could go wrong? And we have this. Yeah, the IRGC is distributing AK-47s to pro-regime civilians. And we have that the U.S., since the ceasefire began, it's now about in its third week, the U.S. military has had a conga line of C-17s and C-130s going to the Middle East, which continued even yesterday. And now we have this. The Iranians are now out of storage for their oil, and a huge oil spill is taking place in the Persian Gulf as the Iranians dump oil into the Persian Gulf. So that's going on. And now a short prayer. This is based on Deuteronomy 21. Father, we come to you in the name of Jesus, and many call it Yeshua. And we ask for forgiveness for our nation, America. And we ask that you resolve any entanglements America may have in shedding innocent blood. And we pray, Father, that our leaders and judges bind blessing to America as we shine light on those who are truly guilty. And we say thank you, God the Father, God the Son, Jesus, whom many call Yeshua, and God the Holy Spirit. I say to my family and friends, remain steady out there, continue to pray. God is in charge and he is on the move. I love you and I'll see you soon.
All right, that was today's, Billy. Okay, an hour and 20 minutes, you guys. Have your soft drinks ready and popcorn.
Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Well, I just saw Jeff in the house. Hope you're feeling better, my brother, in Australia. So just saw him popping up. Wishing you all the best. And, of course, everyone, because it was prayer day today, wasn't it? Wow. We are so looking forward to a Bonza week. And, of course, Sizzling Sunday is always one of those ones where you, ladies and gentlemen, get to ask the question. By doing so, you just raise your hand and you will be unleashed, and we'll go through the process, and you'll be able to ask your questions very, very shortly. I just wanted to touch on a little bit of housekeeping, and I never like doing this, but we're going to do this anyway. It turns out it came to my attention about 2 days ago that there is a couple of chat rooms. And they say that it is at Real Mayhem with Mel, or Mel, whatever. And it even has a blue tick verifying that account. Believe you me, ladies and gentlemen, I do not have a chat room. This is the only place where you can chat with me or you private message me. So in saying that, please be wary that if you are asking questions over in this Just Mayhem with Mel chat room, it is not me responding to you, regardless of whether it has a blue tick or not, as I have stated. My identity was stolen. They have used my identity, obviously. The photos, everything looks exactly like you see over here, ladies and gentlemen, but rest assured, it is not me responding. And if you are getting responses from these free citizens and bots on these chat rooms asking for your details to open up your Quantum account, please do not do that. It is not me. I do not endorse that. In fact, I don't endorse anything, but I do encourage people to go and have a look at certain things, yes. But I do not answer questions in chat rooms other than the one that I do here and on the humanitarian group. That is the only two places. And this is why I put my face on camera and you can speak to me because you know you're speaking to me, not a bot. And quite often, if you were to message me, private message me, I would either put myself on the camera or I will send you a voice message. But please, ladies and gentlemen, if you are over there, because it has 9,000 members in there,
Wow.
in a Just Mayhem with chat, it is not me. This is the only channel that I have Q&A, and you can ask a question directly. And if you don't, you can certainly private message me at Mel Micah. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, it is Sizzling Sunday. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Never liked having to do that, but I wanted to make that very clear that that is not my chat room. So if you're over there and you're being questioned regarding quantum financial accounts and this, that, and all the rest of it, it is not me, regardless of the blue tick. I tell you what, Telegram, you need to get your shit sorted. But anyway, with all of that being said, let's have a look at a couple of things whilst we, before we get any questions. Just a reminder, of course, I will be over in the humanitarian group tomorrow. We're going to be talking about projects and the next stages of projects, and we're going to be talking about all sorts of things. I've got plenty of notes here to go through, and we talk about limited liability companies and registration of your business and the reasons why we treat our humanitarian projects as a business and so forth and so forth. So it's taking it to the next level. So, of course, this is National Jubilee evening. Of course, we've just had the national prayer, and I wish you all the very, very best in every endeavour that we intend on thing. This, of course, is tied up with the 250-year anniversary of the United States of America. It goes through to, wait till the 4th of July. So are we finally into that final curtain raiser? We will wait and see. But, of course, we are going to be talking a little bit over in the humanitarian projects, of course, about God's currency, which is that being of silver and gold, and some new revelations from Mel from her research. So I'm looking forward to that on the humanitarian group tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the United States. So with all of that being said, I believe that I was getting quite cut off when I was talking about the Australian special and the Friday frenzy regarding the attacks and the budgets and their spending cuts, which are not really cuts. As I said, in short, I do not believe that it was a budget. I believe that it is indicating what has been spent over their final time in Parliament. And I believe, and I can substantiate a lot of that, as I said, through the posts and that I have posted in the last 3 or 4 years. So don't be too discerned or too heartened or unheartened by the Australian budget. We often see many countries across the world who also have budgets, and they are acting out as well. So it's not just Australia. So you'll be pleased to know Australia. But as I said, this was to capture those in the Great Awakening, not to alarm you in any way. But really enjoyed it. I hope people appreciated the effort that does go into these things, because it is a few hours worth of work for me to go through and correlate that and put it all together in a show. But that's enough of me. It is not about me today. It is all about you, ladies and gentlemen. So we will start the show rolling. Please come up and ask your questions. So who are we going to start with? Who are we going to start with? Who would like to ask a question? No one's going to ask a question today. That's pretty profound. So, God's Elf, you'd like to start. If you have anyone who wants to start, New Earth is up there. Would you like to start, love? Do you have a question?
Yes, I'd like to.
Hello, how are you?
I wanted. Good. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
I like your hair.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I'm having a good hair day today.
Yes. When you were talking and explaining about that other chat,
yes,
a lot of it was cut off.
Oh, was it really?
Just to let you know.
Mm-hmm. Of course it was. Yes. Basically, that chat room is not my chat room, just so you know. But anyway.
Right. Oh, and also I wanted to say, when you report it, I already did this. I already reported it. But I don't report it inside Telegram. I go out.
You just remuted yourself, darling.
I have to keep my finger so it stays on. Sorry about that.
That's all right.
But I reported them by going to the Apple store and actually opening the app.
Okay.
And you
doing
can
it that way.
report it.
No worries. Well, thank you so much, New Earth. Yep. All right, Greg, how are you? Greg's ready to have a question. Greg Ferguson. No, you've unmuted yourself, mate. Otherwise, Tom, you've always got a question.
Hi, Mel. How you doing?
Hello. How are you, sir? Let's get the show on the road.
All right. Okay, so here there's been much discussion from both sides regarding the build-out and impact of large-scale AI data centers worldwide. The critics have focused primarily on substantial electricity demand, high water consumption, environmental footprint, land use, impact to local residents, fears of unwanted big tech surveillance, and job losses to automation. How would you sway the critics that technology centers are here to help humanity prosper using automation for legal, business, and accounting services, enhanced educational solutions, medical breakthroughs, and modernization of energy, communication, transportation, and other systems?
It is. It's a tough gig, isn't it? It really is. Again, like I said, a lot of this is actually true speculation at the moment. The concern is, of course, we did see some water testing that came out of one of them. I think it was Big Mike sent me that one as well. And it is concerning. And it is, and if I was POTUS, I could tell you, but I'm not POTUS. But in saying that, it's not about persuasion. It's about just sitting back, relax, let's see how this rolls out. As for the energy and things like that as well, we are going to free energy. We're starting to see that across the world as well. So again, it is one of those things. AI is good, bad, or indifferent. We talked about it. I'm going to be talking about it quite a lot. I am heading into Melbourne next week in Australia, and going to be talking to quite a few economists regarding the AI side of things and where they sit. Now, back in 2025, when AI started to really make an impact, and this is also got to do with, of course, these data centres, everything seems to be impacting us in so many different ways. And, of course, none of us like adjustments. None of us like change per se. So it's kind of like, well, let's just wait and see what's going to happen. As I said, are these data centres something more than what we actually assume? And assuming is very dangerous, and everyone's going to have their opinion and speculation. But as I said just recently, it's interesting that they're going up everywhere. And DJT, the president, DJT, he would be knowing about this. Is it brought to his attention? I'm sure it does. So you have to beg the question of, as I said, when things are being built or changes are happening around us. I actually said this on the Freaky Friday show, or Frenzy Friday, I should say, but it was a bit freaky for some people. But you've got to understand that these things, these powers of energy that are coming in, we can change and alter the frequencies of our mindsets, of our own personal frequencies, the frequencies that are given out in the electricity. So those who understand frequencies are probably a little bit more understanding to the fact that these data centres, including the AI, can be good, bad, or indifferent. I think the important part is that we now seeing, I think I posted something regarding the solar panels in Malaysia. Understand that these things may have been done for testing for many other countries, not so much for us to get on the bandwagon of all the negativity, but understand that there's many countries such as Malaysia, Indonesia, Philippines who have geographically have many mountains and this, that, and all the rest of it, and they require certain elements such as solar panels and that as well. But again, like I have pointed out too, Tom, is that some of these solar panels now are actually are making improvements to the land, for the animals, for the crops. And yes, they were bad. I'm not saying they weren't bad. They were bad. And it's the same with these data centers. I think we're going to have to sit back, look at the positives. I know that there is something more to them. And as things transpire, we will certainly get to know. But I think there's many critics, and there's always going to be critics. But as I pointed out on Friday Frenzy, if you're still running on that narrative, then again, these data centers might just damn well change your frequency because, as I said, you know, we're prone, as we have been for many, many years, during this Great Awakening, we tend to go straight to the negative of everything. And I think if you can turn things around by bringing in the positive, and as I said, it softens the heart a little bit and said, well, you know, it's out of our control, because these data centers, they're popping up everywhere. And you can't tell me that President DJT is not aware of them. As I said, I think we're going to have to sit back and wait and watch the ride and see what happens. But yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, Tom. It really is. But thank you, sir. I think KL Jesus Saves is next. We'll go from there.
Hi, Mel. I'm so excited to talk to you.
Well, that's okay. I'm excited to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I've got a question, and it might be inappropriate, but yellow dragons, I've heard that most of them are fake. What's your take on it?
Oh, there's many takes on that one, darling. Where do we start? Are they fake? The actual yellow dragon bonds, of course, are not fake, but there's been many, many elements to it. So let's go through this, KL. I hope we get your answer answered. If you have purchased them some time ago, whether that be through an organisation that sold you or gave you a certificate to say that you have a portion of a yellow dragon bond or whatever, I don't want you to jump off the cliff with that, okay? These things are real. The yellow dragon bonds are real. We can verify all of that. The issue that we're having is that the amount that are being sold concerns me. Now, it only concerns me. It doesn't have to concern anybody else, especially those who are selling them. But my issue is that things have come to my attention about certain things about these yellow dragon bonds, and people are selling them 4 times over to all of you. Now, that to me is concerning. Now, I can't prove that, but it has come to my attention that that is what has happened. But again, I'm not the one to say, and I'm not at privy because I didn't purchase them. But my point being here is that you used your own discernment when you purchased these from these people, and you purchased them in good faith. And you have to live with that regardless of what the outcome is going to be. The issue that
Well, I hope I don't get no power outage, you guys. We're getting a thunderstorm right now. So if I go out, I'll get back on as soon as I can. Hope I can get this one in. I think it's till 8 o'clock. It should stop.
The issue that I do have is that, yes, they are a limited
number. An hour and
there
5
was only
minutes
so
left.
many, is my understanding. And it concerns me the amount that has been sold or unsold, possibly, like I said, several times over. Again, there's been many things that have come out in recent years, and that's why I've been criticised, condemned by a lot of these gurus, because I've been calling them out. I've been questioning this. Now, it's not to say the yellow dragon bond that you have is not real. That is not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that we will wait and see what happens. You will take whatever possession that you hold of those yellow dragon bonds. And again, there's notes coming out regardless of whether it's a yellow dragon bond, whether it's a T-note bond, whether it's an aggro check or whatever. There is no clear-cut answer for that one, KL Jesus Saves. But like I said, the yellow dragon bond is real. If you hold it in your possession, then I'm pretty sure that's going to be acceptable. Those who took it on good faith, Make sure that you have your relevant receipts from those people that you purchased them from, and allow the system to follow up and follow through on all of that. Also understand that these Yellow Dragon bonds must have been validated and verified and authenticated at the same time as well. And there is a massive process to all of that. And during my research, I have actually found where in the world where you can actually take those particular bonds to, I must find that darn link. I've got to find it from someone else too, where you actually have those bonds authenticated. A lot of them are saying that they got all theirs done through the US Treasury, but the US Treasury aren't the ones who actually authenticate it. It actually goes to this very special one place in the world, so to speak, where they get authenticated. So again, I've questioned everything. As I said, KL, Jesus saves. My take is just as long as you have a receipt from your Yellow Dragon bonds, or you actually hold those Yellow Dragon bonds, a certificate of some form, then take it with you, and as I said, allow the process to go through, and we will continue to keep navigating it, but there has been many concerns, and I don't want people to be disheartened, but the system will sort them all out eventually anyway. So I have that on good faith. So I hope that helps.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I have one more question. I was told by someone that if you hold Iranian rial, it's illegal. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, look, it came to my attention actually some weeks ago, might have even been a month or so ago. We actually had a gentleman who buys and sells currencies, and this is actually another concern that's recently come to my attention. I'm only just sharing my opinion here, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. Please do not take this on total right or wrong, so to speak. But it got my curiosity going, because we have so many people in this movement who have been buying and selling currencies but aren't registered to buy and sell currencies. So it kind of like, ooh. And this gentleman came up who is an actual licensed currency buyer and seller, and he said that it's actually illegal to hold it in the United States, the Iranian rial. So again, do your research on that. Now, on the flip side to all of that, as I said, the little small amount that some of us only hold, I don't think we're going to be put to jail or anything like that. But it certainly does beg the question that you need to do your own research. In each country, we have different rules, and like South Africa, they can't hold any physical currencies. So again, how do they benefit from this? So again, the buying and selling of currencies in certain countries even could be illegal, and yet people are still getting away with it and still doing it. But again, as I said before, Kaya, sorry, darling, as I said before, that's on us. That is on us. It is up to us to find out. Know what you hold. That's what I keep saying to people. And so know what you hold, understand what you're getting yourself in for. A lot of times, honey, I think we've gone in with great emotions and we haven't actually done our full research. But anyway, sorry, darling, go for it.
Oh, I apologize. I'm thinking about tearing mine up and throwing them away. I mean, I had no idea.
No, I don't think it's really got to do with that at all. Don't you dare do that. Oh my gosh, don't you dare do that. That is still money in your pocket, darling. The worst case scenario is that you can keep them as commemorative or onwards sell them as well. certainly please do not burn them or take them away. So no, please don't do things like that. But anyway, that's okay. Who else have we got? We've got Dee Dee. How are you? And I'm going to go then to I'm Pie, I think it is. Dee Dee, did you have a question? Hello, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Excellent.
Good, good. I wanted to thank you for that post that said the RLUSD. You could wake up, you know, in the AM hours and see that there's $1 trillion in there, you know, for everyone, for the whole world to see. Thank you for that.
It's interesting post, isn't it? I think it's going to, again, is this the redistribution of funds? This is what I'm getting excited about, because is it another confirmation that, as I said, that the money in that cog of the wheel is actually starting to flow? Do we actually get to see it though? We will wait and see. But it's also interesting though, Dee Dee, that Kenya have had a complete shutdown today. That was their Monday, I think. Yeah. So they're going to have a complete blackout in Kenya. So that's really interesting. Is that where they're going to upgrade their system and then they wake up with their trillions of dollars in their accounts? It's getting very, 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 very exciting. So, but yes. So it's lovely to hear from you, Dee Dee. So did you actually have a question other than that? Sorry, darling.
Oh, no, that's fine. Do you think we're going to see the free energy happening at the World's Fair this year, as they had said for over a year now?
Yeah, I know. Well, it's really interesting because, like I said, I did post some very interesting articles out of Malaysia and that. And it looks like free energy is definitely coming. How soon does it come out? I think we're still probably about nearly 2 years away from having completely free energy. I don't think it's going to happen like that. But there's certainly indicators. And I think you're going to see probably more of it in countries that are redeveloping, such as Africa and the Philippines and in the Asian countries. I think you're going to see it there more. But I wanted to focus on, actually, Dee Dee, talking about free energy, is on that Malaysia video, the big generators that are on there. And I happened to actually mention about WaterSun and India building a lot of these generators for the free energy, and they're converting. And again, it comes back to what I was saying before about the solar farms. Are the solar farms, as I said, because the solar panels have changed the way they're made, they have a higher frequency, or a good frequency, I should say. Is it going to be the case, Dee Dee, that energy is converted into these so-called generators, and that is your free energy? Just putting some things out there, because all of these generators that have been floating around for many years in Australia and in other countries, they're starting to come up. And I have mentioned it before, that the WaterSun generator out of India, because they've been the biggest producers of these new generators, are actually quantum energy generators. So again, that video from Malaysia, ladies and gentlemen, think outside the square. Don't focus on the fact that you may think it's all about the climate change and rah, rah, rah. No, this is more. And again, like I said, the data centers as well, using up all of that energy. Does those data centers then create an energy collapse, and then these generators come in and then we have free energy? We don't know. We're not privy to how they're going to unfold that. But Dee Dee, I tell you, I'm getting very, very excited about the news that I'm getting across the world, because this is a global, it's a global reset. It's not just a monetary reset. And if you think of global currency reset, current, electricity, free. Do you see where I'm going with it, Dee Dee? Very, very exciting. Very excited. So
yes.
I know.
You had also mentioned a little while back about the gas possibly going down to 35 cents to 40 cents a gallon here in the States.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and based on everything that's been taking place, do you think that that's going to be anytime soon?
I think by the end of next year, you're going to start to see that coming right the way down. And again, as I said, you start taking away all the state taxes, and if the states then become linked to your gold and silver, there's no reason for those states to charge all the taxes on the gas. So, and it's no different to banks, DD. So let's touch on banks for a moment, DD, is that it's the same with banks. Now, the banks, because of this Basel III, is much bigger than what people realise. The banks now hold all of that gold and silver and all of those assets. They don't need to charge interest to you and I. They don't need to charge the fees. Do you see where I'm going with that, sweetie? Because they're going to be making money also on the assets that they hold as well. This is why I don't believe banks will ever collapse, because of the structure of the whole system. Smooth transition. What are your thoughts, Dee Dee?
Well, I'm definitely being charged $15 a month.
Yeah.
Because they
exactly.
they want a minimum in there. So that would be nice.
And that could be going into gas or food and other bits and pieces as well. So again, yeah, it is, yeah. So it's going to be interesting how it all unfolds. But yeah, definitely. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So, all right, beautiful. Well, thanks, Dee Dee. It's always lovely to have a bit of a chin wag and go from there. I did see someone else. I'm Pi. If you did have a question, I did see you up there before. But anyway, Nick B, how are you? I'm going to go straight to Nick because, Nick, you, out of total respect, Nick, you have been sending me some very cool stuff for digital assets. If you wanted to ask a question, you'll feel free. Otherwise, Pisces Y, did you have a question at all, love?
Yeah, I was going to touch up on the Eastgate saga.
Mm-hmm.
And see if you had any news about that. It seems to be getting swept under the rug, along with Satoshi and everyone else.
Yeah, has it been swept under the rug, or is it actually going to be much more than that, Nick? We should. That's actually worth doing. As I said, I'm going to send you a private message, and we'll have a chat about that, and then we'll have a bit of a deep dive on that one, Nick, because, as I said, out of total respect, what you send to me and what we've actually shared a little bit on our private messages, is it just being swept under the rug, or is there something bigger to it? I think there is something bigger to it. So yeah. So
I agree. I agree with you with that. Anyway, I'll let you go. I've got to continue and work here in the Sydney rain.
Oh, no worries at all, mate. So you were just listening. I just saw you there and I thought I'll just ask. Sorry.
Yeah,
that's okay.
That's okay. Take care, guys. Cheers.
You too. Thanks, champion. He's an absolute legend when it comes to digital assets. Mountaintop, did you want to say hello? Did you have a question?
Hi, man.
Oh, Pisces. Oh, Pisces Y, first of all. Sorry. Pisces,
Hi, Mel.
how are you?
Good, thanks. How
I'm
are
very
you?
well, thank you. I'm very well, thank you.
Thank you for answering my I have few questions
Yes.
regarding the humanitarian thing. So once there are two things. One is the revaluation of currencies. After that, I'm calling from Western Australia, first of all.
Yes. Yeah.
So if once the revaluation happens, are those, like on the humanitarian thing, are the youngsters will be educated regarding the traditional farming and all those things, or no?
Yes, they are. And you can actually incorporate that yourself, Pisces Y.
Yeah.
And you can actually put that inside your project. So they're the kind of things. we're actually going to talk about. No, you go for it, darling. You can actually
Sorry, I
incorporate.
have few humanitarian projects where I want to educate the youngsters regarding traditional farming and other stuffs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and one more question. Recently, if you had seen the news from India, that the prime minister there, he said not to buy gold, not to go overseas for holidays. Is there something happening in the background, do you think?
I think there might be. And I just realised that you must be from India as well.
Yes.
Okay, so when we talk about traditional farming, Pisces Y, as I said previously, ANZ, and when I talked about it in the budget show, ANZ are part of the humanitarian project system when it comes to agriculture. So they are actually bringing a lot of Indian families and Indian specialists over here to show us the traditional way of farming from India. So you should get very, very excited. As for the article that we're talking about, I did post that to create curiosity, because you have to start thinking. He said, oh, you know, not going to sell any more gold, or we're going to have to sell some more gold. Is it the fact that they've actually reached that pivotal point and that there is something about to happen? Because they've been hoarding gold, but they're also buying silver. So Pisces, what he's actually doing is he's actually selling gold, but to buy silver to add to that as well.
That's why I told all my friends to sell gold and buy silver, but they're saying it's never going to happen. Gold is going to go high. I said gold is going to drop.
Yeah. And so that's my belief anyway, Pisces. So you are on the right track. And what they have to understand, another perspective to actually put it with your friends, especially those over in India, because in Turkey's the same. Every time I talk to my Turkish group, it's like, we're not going to sell our gold, because gold has always been that one that they wanted to hold on to. But if you explained it to your mates as in the aspect of the percentage of where silver is, what silver is going to be put into, as in not just solar panels, but all of your AI, all your robotics and this, that, and all the rest of it, the silver percentage, you're going to make more money. So when you understand the hedging, so if you were to educate them, find a nice video from India, because they'll understand it better in India, but find yourself an economist video on YouTube that talks about hedging against taking some of your gold, not all of your gold, but some of that gold, and hedge it into silver and see what happens. So maybe, you may have to redirect, because sometimes you can't tell them, Pisces, why. You have to show them. So if you're from India, definitely have a look at some YouTube videos out there that will help you to navigate that. But yes, definitely, I believe he's selling gold to buy silver and other assets. So well done to you.
One more thing I have to add on. In India from last year, they said from 1st of April, they are going to give loans for silver 1:10 ratio to the gold.
Yes.
But then there is no news at all about that. And no one thinks it's a big deal.
Okay. And you know what? One of the other girls actually reminded me about that the other day. So Pisces, I will actually make a note of that and make sure we go back and have a revaluation of that. I do remember that article, and it did come out, India and silver. So
I think it came last August or October. I don't know which.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was late in the year, August, September, I think it was. Yeah, somewhere around that area. So we will definitely go back and reevaluate that and see what we can find. Because quite often what happens is that it comes in the system, probably most likely in a different form or a different part of your system in India. So we'll have to have a little hunt about that. But thank you very much for that little reminder. So
thank you so much for answering my questions.
My pleasure, sir. Absolutely. I'm Pi. 347, are you ready to rock and roll? Did you have a question? I'm Pi. Otherwise, we might go to Frosty. Frosty, the snowman. I saw you popping up. We're going to go to Winner's Circle as well. Shannon Hill. I'll be here of the children. Absolute Shannon. So, Frost, do you have a question? Who else? Shannon Hill, did you have a question at all? Deborah Parsons, who else? You can just unmute yourself, go for it. There we go, Island Girl, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Very well,
Thank you
thank you.
so much, Mel. I'm so happy that it's coming through right now because it's been going in and out. But I just wanted to get your take on something. And the last guy was talking about silver and gold, and I've been watching silver, of course, and I've been watching Bitcoin, of course. And I've noticed something over the last, I don't know, several weeks going, I wonder, it almost feels like they're tracking a little bit similarly. Like, you know, never mind the 3 decimal points. But what's your take on that?
Absolutely. Because, darling, Island Girl, I actually been, and Mimi, you're up next, Mimi Spirit. But Island Girl, it is fascinating that you pick up on that because I did mention about a week or so ago about Bitcoin being on, of course, the Stellar network, and it has to be pegged to an asset. And it's like, is this Bitcoin actually silver, the silver lining? It's hard to believe, though, isn't it? But you're exactly right, girlfriend. Absolutely spot on. Well done. Yes, it is. It's running parallel.
Thank you.
You're running parallel because I think Trump just also purchased a whole heap of Bitcoin. And why would he be doing that? Because the flip has happened.
Down right now.
There you go. You're getting it. Whoa. As I said, those who stick close by are starting to really, really get this. Take emotion out of what you thought about Bitcoin. It's going to be interesting. Mimi, how are you?
Oh, hi, Mel. I just want to let you know that I've noticed Mayhem Mel with the blue tick has been coming in and out of this chat all the time today. Just letting you know that.
Thank you, sweetheart. Aren't they just such cherubs? But anyway, yes, I have been keeping. I've got a few people onto that one, so yeah, so that will be interesting.
Okay, thank you, Mel.
That folds. Thank you so much for that. Someone who listens to me, it's like, my gosh, these people. I tell you, you're gonna love them. Rosalind Slaughter, how are you? Did you have a question at all, darling? TBJ. Did you want to say hello? You've always got a good question.
How are you tonight?
I'm very well, sir. How are you?
Very good. So I have a question. I have a lot of details to back what I'm going to say up. In April of 2022, I went on to treasurydirect.gov and keyed in the birth certificate number, and a number showed up that was rather large. And I printed all of the screens. I have it all today. But about 2 weeks ago, I went back in and had all my login information saved, and it said the account was no longer valid. Does that mean, and I tried multiple times to get in, does that mean that those accounts have been switched over to something like the Quantum Wallet and they're no longer on treasurydirect.gov?
I believe so.
So that's why it no longer shows up there.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
That's quite okay. And congratulations on TBJ02 for doing everything that he has done. He goes into deep dives on everything and keeps everything going very smoothly. So thanks, TBJ. Appreciate you. Winner's Circle, how are you?
I'm well, Mel. How are you today?
I'm awesome. All the better for talking to you.
Oh, you're so sweet. Okay, so I've been in this program for years
39
now,
minutes.
and
39.
I'm very prepared here at home. However, we have a vacation that's been planned for 1 year, and we leave Wednesday to go to Europe.
Wow.
So I'm not afraid, but like I'm prepped here at home. I'm ready for EBS or whatever's going to happen, but there's a lot of uncertainty. I don't know what Europe looks like, what a lockdown or scare event could look like in Europe if that's going to happen. I mean, those things might not even happen, right? I was just wondering, maybe you could bat those beautiful eyes of yours or do a big stretch yawn if you think wait, I haven't asked the question yet. If you think it's gonna happen by Wednesday.
Ooh. I would not say it's going to happen by Wednesday, and I'd be going on my holiday and enjoying it because it's going to be such a hoot either way. And if it happens while you're away, darling, then it's going to be a double hoot, isn't it? Yeah, my timing is a little bit later than most people would like to accept right now. But we are getting, look, with this movement at the station for the word that passed around Winters and Winners Circle, there is definitely movement. I can assure you of that. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's going to be Wednesday, but yeah, it's on its way. It is definitely on its way this year.
It's exciting, you know. I mean, I think it's just going to add more to the adventure if we're overseas. But like I said, I have a spouse that doesn't believe in any of this, and I've been trying to, you know, so it's going to be a little bit difficult. And well, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know what that's going to look like. So I'm just trying to prepare the best I can.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You go along and you relax, and this will happen when you least expect it. And that's what I love about this. It's going to be when you least expect it.
Right.
So then you can hold your husband, your partner, and just go, honey, looks like we're going home early. So, but go and enjoy yourself. It's been prepped for a whole year. You need to keep living. And as I said, I will be here for a little while longer. So,
Mel, one more question. Thank you for that. Yes, I've been prepped for a very long time, actually, years and years. You mentioned on the last show that this may not look like us going into I just threw a blank on what it's called. Redemption centers, possibly, that it could be just there, right, in our wallets or something. So that helps a lot, because I've been thinking, you know, I have to run home, have everything lined up, have an appointment. What if I miss my appointment? But you're saying don't worry about that, right?
Don't worry about it. And if you listen to what DBJ02 just said, and he's been very stringent in following his straw man and all sorts of things, whatever you want to call it. And to go in there a few weeks back and now find that he can't log into his so-called quantum account, because that quantum account's now been moved into the quantum system, you have to beg the question, Winner's Circle, that what I have said is now correct, because it has moved.
I don't doubt what you say at all. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I gave a little woohoo when you responded to him, because, you know, that's extremely positive.
It is extremely positive. And as I said, you know, we're starting to see different movements. It's going to be interesting when I do an explanation tomorrow on the humanitarian group regarding your 401ks / superannuation and how that's going to all unfold as well. Because DBJ, you want to be listening to that tomorrow as well, because there's a fair bit of explanation that needs to go into it for my theory, and my validation and credibility will be on the line for that one, I'm sure, but it's looking exceptionally good. And I do believe that their money has been moving from account to account. So from the old system, basically, into the new quantum system, I do believe that there's a lot of movement at the station. So looking forward to that explanation
And Mel,
tomorrow.
where would we hear that? Where would we hear that?
There'll be a link. There'll be a link on the main channel here, and you'll be able to link into Humanitarians too, and that's at 8 p.m. virtually the same time, about half an hour earlier than today. And you'll be able to hop over there, and we talk about all sorts of things. But the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about our straw man and our projects, and where do we go next, and how things actually, the processes that we can start to think about a little bit more in depth about where we're going, because we are very close. So I think it's time for that. So
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, absolute pleasure. So who else would like to ask a question? Just unmute yourself. There we go. Angel, how are you? How are you? We'll go to Aussie. We'll go to Aussie G in a minute, but Angel, how are you?
Oh, I'm good, Melissa. I've been following you for quite a while. So this is my first time talking to you. So
beautiful. You are an angel. So
I'm from New Brunswick, Canada.
Yes.
And my question is, I have a big project in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the condition right now in Nigeria? Like, because I have a group, the Nigerian group, and there's not too many that are believing that there's anything going on over there.
Ooh,
so what is
really?
So what do you think about what's going on in Nigeria?
Okay, Angel, let's have a quick long chat about that. Okay, Nigeria was actually one of the very first countries, sweetheart, that actually they started in Africa, in Nigeria. So in Nigeria, of course, they used many of the Nigerians as part of a scam. So back in the 80s and 90s, we started getting scam calls from Nigerians in Nigeria. And of course, you know the corruption yourself. If you are from there or have been there, you know that corruption. Well, they actually started in Nigeria, and the education system changed several years ago. And they are now actually, I'm going to try and private message you, and perhaps we can come together in a little group session for Nigeria. But I will go back and post some articles from Nigeria. So, darling, in the actual main channel, if you go up to the 3 dots and search Nigeria, you should actually start to get some articles that I have posted about Nigeria and what good things are happening in Nigeria. And that you can start there. So if you, and this is for everyone, go up and do the search in the search engine, because it's not just about Iraq. We do put articles up around Nigeria and Canada and many other countries. Go up into that search engine in the main channel, honey, and put Nigeria, and you should get about 7 or 8 really good articles about what's been going on in Nigeria. And I'll start to post more from Nigeria just for you.
Because in my group, when they're asking me, because I'm not from Nigeria, but my man is from Nigeria, and he's there right now. So, so this is what I have a big project. I already bought a piece of land there, and so. And then my other question is, when it's time to go, is it going to be possible to get an international passport?
Yes, absolutely, darling. Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, because after going to the med bed, I'm going to look a bit different. So probably they're going to be able to get another passport, right?
Yeah, absolutely. For certain. 100%. Yep.
Okay.
You'll still have your biometrics and that. So so that won't change. But yes, you certainly can.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And then I'm going to go back on your site and research for Nigeria. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, no worries. Aussie G, how are you, darling? Here's a lady that's been fighting the fight for many years. Aussie G.
Hi, honey. How are you?
Very well, thank you,
good.
sweetie.
So first of all, I was just wondering, you were talking about last time with what will actually happen to the notes, like if we have dong or if the currency resets. And could it possibly be very, like, keep it simple, stupid? You know, not that you're stupid, but we are trying to keep it simple. If we keep it simple, because they know about all the transactions and everything that's been going on, and they do know about it, how could it possibly be that they'll just go, okay, we know you've got this amount, and we put that into a ledger for you, or a quantum account? Could it be that simple? You can burn, do what you want with it, because it's not worth anything.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. I do believe that, because as I said, with the technology, the AI, the scanners, the satellites that we have, our phones that we have, the conversations that we have with other people. You ring your best friend up and you tell your friend, I just bought 5 million dong. It's like, I'm sorry, you think that's not recorded? It's like, try and hide it, But yeah, look, I do believe that. Look, I'm pretty sure there will be some protocols in place, as I said, because each of those notes do hold a barcode, so to speak, on them. And once that's been recognised and acknowledged, as I said, they don't, in this day and age, the process of collecting all those notes is gone out the window. They're trying to empty out the pallets as it is, and that's why we're finding all of these interesting notes that have been printed just recently in 2012, 14 and 15 that we're seeing coming out, because they take up space. So why would they want to collect them all? So I think in this day and age, we have to think a little bit differently to what we actually thought previously. And I think you're right. I do believe that. So it's a bit hard to believe.
It could be that simple, couldn't it?
Absolutely. 100%.
That was the currency now, that's not the currency, the rainbow currencies now. Reset everything. Get rid of those notes. They're not worth anything. You can't use them anyway. So
they're collectible items. We'll hold them.
Yeah. Now, the other thing I was asking was, and again, I know that you won't be able to say yes or no, but I was just wondering how you were hearing about anything about the WISE account. You often give your opinion on it, so I was just wondering how you were feeling about it now.
On the WISE account?
Yeah.
Look, like I said, terms and conditions have changed. I actually, would you believe it? Funny you should ask me. I actually found my old password for my WISE account because I haven't been able to get it into it. And someone else brought it up the other day. The terms and conditions have changed. There is still a few restrictions on it. But when it comes to exchange rates and buying and selling percentages for WISE, they're probably best out of all of them, one of the best.
Yeah.
As I said, terms and conditions have changed. They're not, I think they got hammered regarding the revaluation of those currencies on the WISE accounts. But I'm prepared to put my hand up and say, listen, things change. I can change. Things that come to my attention, the terms and conditions have changed. And again, being in a digital world, I think it will be digitalised, and that will certainly be interesting to see how that unfolds. I think it's when you go to transfer that into Australian dollars that you're going to you know, it may cost you a little bit to transfer, as I said. But again, Wise seems to have the best transfer fees when it comes to that. Revolut is very good, as I said. And so, yeah, and other things such as air wallets, which businesses now use, air wallets as in a business form. They use that all the time. They exchanging euros into Australian USD, whatever they have to exchange in each country when they're doing trades. So there's many different ways and forms. But, yeah, as I said, terms and conditions do change. So, yeah, they're looking all right. They're looking okay.
Just as an extra note too, I noticed the other day on the app, I popped in there and I just noticed there was an extra scanning thing on there now. So you can actually, sorry, my throat's a bit croaky, but you can scan. So you can go into your Wise account and you can scan to obviously pay a bill or whatever. If they didn't have that before, they've got a scanning thing on there now.
There you go. That's what I want to hear. It's like, I think Ian over at Buy Me a Coffee sent me a message about Revolut. Oh, I can't trade with it. I didn't say you could trade with it, but I'm waiting for them to be able to put a trading platform on Revolut as well, so that you can do that as well. So as I said, many of them are coming on board. We've got all of these bridges that are happening within the quantum system. And again, it's going to be personal choices as to which one you use and utilise. So, because some countries don't have Revolut. So
now at the top of it.
Yep. Yeah.
Sorry. So at the top of it now, it's got send, add money, request money, and scan. And it hasn't had scan before.
22 minutes.
There you go. There you go. So we're going to scan our notes. There you go. Yeah. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to scan our notes, and you just scan it and verify it.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's
why I said I think you're going to do it.
Agree. Yeah. Sorry, it's lagging a little bit. But yeah, so I thought that's what I thought. Maybe we could just scan them. Here's my notes. Scan them on there, and they'll just add on.
Yep. Absolutely.
I think we've got to keep it simple, don't we? I know.
I'm excited.
Thank you.
This is like 3 or 4 revelations that we've had today, ladies and gentlemen. So if you're just joining us, there's been 4 or 5 confirmations of things that we've been talking about for quite some time, and now people are starting to see it for their own eyes, for the eyes to see and the ears to hear. We're going to take one more caller who would like to ask the final question for the hour.
Hello, Mel.
TCM, how are you?
Oh, doing great. I just have to tell you, thank you so much for all that information that you gave us on Revolut, on Ripple, and the Trust Wallet. And you gave us a little bonus when I went in to send you some money. I noticed how PayPal has changed with their new information. You have to sign out, and they want all this information on you so you have protection on your account. That was like a freebie that you kind of showed me indirectly or directly, whatever way you want to look at it. And also after the 14th, I have 3 checking accounts, and I went into all 3, went to deposit a check into all 3, which I've only been able to do on the one account where it is almost instantaneously in my account. All three banks now, they all do it. Bingo.
There you go.
So yes, the 14th was a very big day.
I'm absolutely excited to hear that one as well. And as I said, if people only realised what goes on in the background, and I actually did say that the other day on the show, if you were wondering what happened on the 14th, a lot of things that you don't see quite yet. But a check is one of those things you don't do every single day. So when you go to do it, you can go, wow, that was different. And it got cleared straight away. Boom.
I know, it's unbelievable. And it's funny, I was together with my oldest son today, and he's a manager for one of the big car companies here in New Jersey. And I said to him, have you noticed the change in the financials? And he said, what are you speaking of? And I said to him, well, you should have instantaneous money now. There should be no holdup when you're receiving funds. Have you noticed it? And he said, yes, I did. So that's a very big deal right there, hearing it from a corporation. You know,
it is. And
I'll tell you.
It's interesting because we're going to touch on corporations tomorrow in the humanitarian group as well. I've done about 5 hours worth of research and put notes together yesterday. And it's very, very
lady,
exciting.
You are brilliant. And I can't thank you enough. And everyone here can't thank you enough.
Thank you. Absolutely.
We appreciate you so much, Mel. Really, I love you to death.
And thank you for your donation.
And we'll be listening tomorrow.
Absolutely. And
thank you
ladies
so much,
and gentlemen,
Mel.
my pleasure, sweetheart. Listen,
Okay.
I am so thrilled today. The beautiful Bridget, you can you've unmuted yourself quickly. Go for it.
So my question is, on the 14th, Social Security maybe was going to get a raise. Do you think that's still possible? So that's still
Oh, look, it's going to be interesting, as I said, in the system itself, Bridget. Like there is increases. How much is anyone's guess? But I think if you start to take out all your taxes, then it's going to be very, very interesting to see. So we will definitely keep our fingers crossed, because a lot of people certainly need a little bit of a booster for that as well. So, yeah, definitely.
all right. Thank you.
Thanks, darling. Street Poet 7, how are you?
G'day, Mel. I'm well. It's Steve here. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
That's good. First thing, I noticed your surname is Maltese. Is that correct?
It is. Very much so.
Awesome. Is that your name or your married name?
Married name, but I'm not married anymore. But I kept my name. But out of total respect, I mean, even though we're divorced, he was always the father of my only child, and out of total respect. And you'll never ever hear me say a bad word about him. We grew apart, and it is what it is. But I was probably known more as Melissa Micallef than I was any other name. So it just makes it easier as well. But yes, it is Maltese. Married to a beautiful Maltese family. And
Nice.
So that's
my family's Maltese too. So I knew straight away. I said, she doesn't look Maltese, right?
No, I'm not Maltese, but we've got to love the Maltese. But yes, certainly. Yeah.
So just a really quick one, because I know everyone's got to go. I got an email from my son's school a couple of days ago about an EBS.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a really well-worded official email from the school principal regarding the Oz Alert emergency broadcast system, which it has been implemented, and they will be running tests in June and July. So just be aware that in June and July they will be tests only. And it's everything that everyone has spoken about regarding an EBS laid out in an email, and to make our children aware of it, etc. And we'll hear alarms and alerts and signals going off in our phone in June and July, which will be tests apparently.
There you go. Wow, that's And when I was asked before about my timing, it's timing is everything, isn't it? But it is. It's that's very. What state? You don't have to say what town or what school, but what state was that in?
Yeah, we're in Queensland, in southeast Queensland.
Southeast Queensland. Well, congratulations. Thank you for that little update. And I always say
Absolutely.
to people, make sure that we connect with the people, and this is why we do this, because it's those little snippets that we don't hear about on Telegram. We always get the news. This is inside stuff, and this is the nitty-gritty of it all. So thank you very much to my Maltese brother.
Yeah,
Well
you're
done.
55 years.
Yeah, excellent. I know, Jimmy, you're going to say a quick hello as well. How are you, champion?
Hey, Mel.
And
How you doing?
I like Deb's energetic cells. Jimmy,
Hey,
how are you doing?
Just really quick, I know you got other people waiting in line. I'm just letting you know that I had sent a screenshot of that person that was using your name and your picture on your channel here a few minutes ago. So
thank you.
I sent that, so I'll let the next person speak.
Oh, thank you so much for standing up for me too, Jimmy. And sending my prayers and that to you as well, my brother. So
thank you.
Deb's energetic. That's no worries, champion. Deb's energetic cells first, and then Romana. Yes, that's who I was going to ask about before. So at Romana, I love my Jesus. You're up next. Deb's energetic cells, and then Geo Light. And Deb, how are you?
I'm phenomenal, and you're really phenomenal, and you're looking really magic. So that's great.
Oh, thank you.
But thank you so much for everything that you do. We all appreciate so much. I just wanted to ask you regarding Revolut. I've got the card, but I wanted to buy some different things, and it said I had to put in my TFN number. I haven't used that for over a decade.
Oh, I know. It's pretty crazy, isn't it? They've actually added so many things to it. I know. When I first started, I actually sent them an email because I've had quite a few people who I've sent the link to, and I haven't got 1 cent from Revolut for all of the referrals that I've sent them because there's so many. They keep putting things on it, but I still believe in the product because the product has kept me safe in the sense. So I'm hoping to get a response from them because, as I said, I've not got 1 cent as an invite link for anyone that's used it. And that's a bit frustrating. But, Deb, I don't know. Keep me informed, Deb, of all the different things because, like I said, they keep adding layers to it. And it's like if I'm not aware of those layers, then I can't put that in and say, well, listen, if that's the case, I'm not going to use the invite link because it's not, it's not worthy of anything. And all the rest of it. So it's interesting that they asked for the TFN number. As I said, understand this though, Deb. I just remembered something. Someone else said something to me the other day. And as I said, we all have Medicare and we all have a tax file number, don't we? Yes. So I wonder, as I said, I have everything transferred into that Revolut now. And I'm trying to remember back if I did I think I did put my TFN number in it. I think I may have, to be honest, Deb. So, but congratulations and thank you. Once you actually start to use that card, you can lock the card. You can buy $2 worth of gold. You can buy XLM, XRP. You can't trade with them at the moment, but there is a trading platform there. I see that they now have Revolut Business as well. So they keep adding to it. It takes a little bit of getting used to, like everything else, but they have multiple. They have multiple things. So please go and enjoy. But let us know, Deb, how that all unfolds.
And how do I actually email you? I've tried, but it just doesn't seem to work.
Oh, okay. So you can email me. Yeah, that's okay. Deb's energetic. I'll thing. Otherwise, private message me here, Deb, at Melmica, MELMICA.
Yep, got that one. Okay.
Perfect. And
I shall do that.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you so very much. Keep taking
My
care.
pleasure. You too.
Thank you.
I love my Jesus. Praise Jesus. Come on down. And then Geo Light, we're going to get to you.
Hi, Mel.
How are you? I saw you up there before and then the feed moves and I was focused on you. So you must have something special about you, I'm pretty sure.
Thank you. You do. This is my first time talking.
Yes,
actually, my first time in your live here.
Oh,
I always I've always listened to you after, it's recorded. But I saw you and I said I'm going to get on there and ask my question if I get picked.
There you go. The energy frequency must have known that.
Yes. So I never bought any currency. My husband bought all the currency.
Yes.
And he passed away almost 3 years ago.
My heart goes out to you, darling.
Thanks. So how are they going to know what I have?
Oh, because, darling, your husband had them, and if he's passed, it passes on to you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
they would know, darling. And as I said, if you physically hold them, you're a power of attorney. There's, all different circumstances, such as that. It all unfolds like it would normally unfold. So, yeah, don't be discouraged about that. Don't overthink it. You will be perfectly fine, darling. Absolutely perfectly fine. So,
thank you so much.
My pleasure, darling. And let's go to Geolight, and then we'll finish with Mountaintop.
Hi, Mel. This is my first time talking to you.
I know. I try and get as many of you newbies up as I possibly can, because it's very nerve-wracking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Putting your hand up and then unmuting yourself, and then you come up and you go, it's my first time. So what would you like to ask, my darling?
Thank you. Okay. Well, this is very personal because it just happened. I do body work, and I had a client. Anyway, I had a really nice gold ring that I lost. I put in my pocket, and it's gone. And I don't know if I went to the store. It doesn't. I mean, it's just a ring, but it had diamonds and a ruby on it. And then I thought to myself, well, Georgia, if the RV is going to happen, and if everything's going to happen as planned, and if you had some silver, you could make the ring, have someone make the ring for you. Or you could have the ring made of silver and be some more, but have to say that it broke my head. I lost it. And so I just trying to ship it, but the ring
It's cut. It's yeah.
It would be.
Yeah, I think it's been cutting in and out there, sweetheart. But we'll I get the gist of hopefully what you're saying. So I'm going to answer that, and that is so true. Sometimes we have mysterious things happen and we wonder why they happen. But just certainly know, darling, that you can actually turn this all around. And as you said, there's many things that have happened to me and I go, God, why has that happened? And then I just realized that there was another reason and purpose, and we can repurpose that ring and it will mean a different thing for a new journey. So take care, my darling. We'll definitely catch up, but it was definitely cutting in and out. And as I think it is on my side as well. Well, Mountaintop, you are it, my darling. Finish it off with a big bang. You always have a bang of news to go with. And Rosalind Slaughter, we will definitely catch up with Joe P, JH, and Prior Girl. We will definitely catch up with you very, very soon. So, Mountaintop, what have you got for us?
Okay. Well, I've been trying to streamline this in my head, so I hope it makes sense. It's like two kind of legs to this. When we were talking before, well, let's QFS, right? We've got the XRPL, the ledger where our money is, finances. XRP being a gold dividend, right? Because that's what's backed by the utility being cross-border, right?
Yes.
And then when you mentioned that RLUSD, that utility is wholesale. My understanding for XLM, that's also retail. That's retail, but that's also silver dividend. So that's like a whole nother rabbit trail. And then I'll get to the question. The USD one you mentioned last week was a retail. And then there's also stable coins. So in my mind, is USD one stable coins, do they ride the rails of XRP and utilities? So that's our spendable tokens. And
that's what yes, it is.
And so, okay, so then when we get our appointments, we get our, they don't want to pay us in fiat, is my understanding. So when we get the U.S. Treasury notes, will those be in a digital form, or will it be paper? We could get them in paper, or we could use a debit card. It's like a whole nother animal, right? I'm trying to wrap my head around the mechanics of it.
The mechanics will be it is done digitally. So you will receive it digitally, and then you would go to the service provider, that being your bank, and actually get the cash out, as in the new Treasury note, out of the cash out.
Okay, and all that's different from like all these other tokens that we could have USD1, stable coins for all these companies. It gets a little mind-boggling on this old mind.
It does, and the mine is pretty big, isn't it? It's like take your chances. It's like when I'm transferring money in Ethereum. It's so much cheaper, of course, than most others. But again, we're still navigating. I'm still navigating. So you have done an amazing job just explaining that. You should come on my show and explain that, because you can do a better job than I can.
This all came off of one question that I had, and I went all these different places. So if XRP, which is the rails, and the price went so high, everybody was speculating because there's so much volume, which it had, because there was so much volume that the price had to be so high or it would all be burned up, right? So is there a point where it's all burned up? Then what? Do we don't need money anymore at that point?
That will eventually happen. 100%. That will eventually happen. And what will also happen there is that then they'll base it on 1 gram of gold rather than
okay.
Just putting that out there, so that starts to make a little bit more sense for those who are in the digital asset frame. So there you go. So that's what that will do. Yeah.
Okay.
So the bulk of it, the price of XRP per se, yes, it will go up, and then it will be diverted into that as well. So very interesting. So that should be.
So XLM silver, you want to hang on a little bit to that too, and not
just a little.
Yeah.
Just a little. Just a little. Sorry.
Thank you.
No worries at all. It is always superb catching up with Mountaintop. She always puts a little spin on it there as well. But ladies and gentlemen, it is a good.
Okay, Spaz, we got it. That is the show from her Sunday night show. Everything. I'm glad it was only an hour. It was only an hour and 20 minutes. So, we're going to continue with the show. We got at least an hour. We got the next 3 short ones will be our TikTok funny lady. And then a few other short ones. Then I got a couple of 15-minute ones. And I got a Benny Johnson update from that shooting. And our other TikTok guy, that's 8 minutes.
and not skip over this video. When I was very, very young, 6th grade, 4th grade to 6th grade, I was getting shit almost beat out of me every day by a bunch of bullies. I'm going to tell you something. They would wait on me, scream at me during the day, tell me what they're going to do to me, just constant, and just harassing me all the time, harassing me to the point where it was affecting me in every single way, not to mention the shit that I was getting at my own house. It ain't like I had any support. Well, they just kept on and kept on and kept on. Well, I talked to my grandfather, who was a love of my life. I loved him so much. My granddaddy in his earlier years had fought a lot in bars, used to work out, lift weights, and stayed in fights when he was younger. Okay, so my granddaddy tells me, he says, I'm gonna tell you something. These loud, boisterous people that's up in your face telling you how they're going to whip your ass, how do you handle it? What do you say? I said, I don't say nothing, Granddaddy. I just hope that I don't see them in the afternoons, but I normally do. They waiting on me, and then they end up beating me up. He's like, I'm going to tell you a little secret that you might not realize is the truth, but from years of fighting, I will tell you something that's going to help you, okay? He said, them loud, boisterous people's always hollering about what they going to do. They only do what you allow them to do. They are very scared. Therefore, they have to yell, scream, and beat on their chest because they actually don't have the balls to do what needs to be done until they find somebody that they realize that they can do it, and then they step up to that. He said the first time that you stand up to
we just
this,
got off the
it will
bell.
stop. Now, I'm not
All
saying
right.
you're going to not get your ass beat. You probably will get your ass beat the first time you stand up to them. However, if you put everything you've got into it, I guarantee you they won't jump you again. Even if you don't win. I said, if I don't win, why wouldn't they keep doing it? He says, they're only doing it because you allow them to. And I'm going to tell you something, Teresa. He said, the people you have to worry about is not them loud ones. It's the quiet ones. The ones you don't know what are thinking. Those are the ones that truly will hurt you. They don't say nothing. They sit back. And then when it's time, they take care of business. Well, long story short, that the next day, they were telling me what they were going to do to me at the bus stop. They were going to do this, they were going to do it. And I said, okay, that's fine. We'll see. And I acted big and bad. Okay, they're like, oh, well, lo and behold, they started pushing me, getting in my face and everything. Well, before I got there that afternoon, I sharpened myself a pencil. Well, I can't say what I did with it on TikTok because I'll get banned. Okay. But I ended up with lead in my own hand, and everybody else ended up with lead in the side of the head, the face, everything else. That was the last day I was ever jumped. I got beat up. That day I did. I got the worst end of that. But everybody else left there with a little remnant of Teresa on them. Reminds me of the Democrats and the Republicans. So the Democrats keep hollering and hollering and hollering and calling for violence and inciting violence and saying, we need to bring it here and we need to step it up. We need to do this. We need to do that. Just like AOC behind that plastic partition in your own fucking area that you got to protect yourself from. And you talking about how you going to pull up in the southern states. We've been real quiet, AOC. We've been real quiet. If you notice, Republicans ain't saying much. But when you push us, all hell's going to rain down. That's just a little extra thing I wanted you to know. My little granddaddy was born in 1919 and knew his shit. He taught me more than anybody in this world. So take the advice from my grandfather, you guys, and remember, us quiet ones, we the ones you got to worry about.
Okay, 2 more.
Caesar's, the lump on his mouth has increased in size over the weekend. I got in touch with the vet, and his surgery is being pushed up. Yeah, that's how you say it, right? Till to tomorrow. So instead of Friday, Caesar is going in tomorrow. I have to be at the vet's office at around 6:30. It's about an hour and 15 minutes from here, so we will be getting to bed early tonight. I'm so glad that I took him to the beach last night, even though I ended up soaked. He was soaked, covered in salt and sand, and I was not happy with him, let me tell you. But he decided he was going to conquer that ocean, and by God, he conquered it. So I'm headed out to work for a little bit. I'm going to go by and get him some pup ice cream. I hear they make that. I'm going to do that for him tonight since we won't be able to go for a walk. I want to try to get him to go to sleep a little early. I have in the crock pot a whole slew of goodness for him tonight to eat, since he won't be able to eat tomorrow morning. So I want to give you guys an update be thinking about him. Okay. Um, he's gonna have this, and we are not gonna get a phone call from the vet tomorrow mid-surgery. We are not gonna get that call. They are going to remove this, and it's all going to be okay. Okay, so guys, thanks to everybody who's reached out. Thanks to everybody who's tried to help me with this. You have no idea how much I appreciate you. Thanks, guys.
Okay, one more. This is her. This is her video.
In this moment, I feel helpless. What action can I take? It is time for the North to pull up to the South.
Pull up in Alabama. So, AOC, I don't know if you mean actual pull up like we think you do, but I was just going to try to give you a little background on the state of Alabama before you and your followers decide that they want to pull up in the state of Alabama. So statistically, now this is the people that participated. Now, a lot of us are very private about our business, and we don't like talking about such things because we like to keep our business to ourselves. We're very private people. But statistically, okay, 55% of Alabama households carry. Oh, that's right, 55%. Now, AOC, I want you to know something. Now, here in Alabama, we are very resilient. We deal with tornadoes, which I'm probably sure that you see my cousin Eileen on CNN talking about how the tornado took out her trailer while she's yelling at her blue heeler to quit gnawing on the cameraman. So we are very resilient down here. We deal with tornadoes. We deal with extreme heat. Hell, we have all the seasons in one weekend. We might wake up and it might be snowing, and by mid-afternoon, it's 85 degrees. So we are very resilient. In our neighborhoods, we help each other. Hell, you can't walk down the road and spit without seeing an American flag. If you go in the store, just about every man you see is wearing a MAGA cap or a We the People shirt, or especially a freedom shirt. We love our guns down here in the South, and we love to hunt. We love to fish. Lots of us know how to live off the land and survive. Hell, we are the home to the giggling granny, a woman in the 1920s who unalived her own damn family. She unalived over 12 people. Alabama's known for quite a few things, some of them strange, some of them good, some of them not so good. We also invented the windshield wiper. Now, how would you get by in your little fancy electric car without your windshield wiper, right? We invented the super soaker. We got a lot of smart people coming out here. Don't forget, Rosa Parks also come from Alabama. Oh, yeah, there was a lot of Alabamans that resisted that, but we still had Rosa Parks. What have you got where you're at? Okay. So I just want to tell you that before you get ready to pull up in the state of Alabama, you might want to remember how resilient we are down here, how we always carry it. Hell, my own great granny got a spat over a border dispute of her in her little neighborhood, and she just about neighbor friend to death with a hard pine cone. Oh, but that was in the early 1900s, so I'm sure you don't know about that. What I'm trying to say, AOC, is down here in Alabama, hell, we'll pick up a damn doorknob, be death with it if we need to. You understand? Now, we go yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am through the drive-thrus. If I go through McDonald's and I order myself a cheeseburger meal, I'm a yes, ma'am, and I'm a no, ma'am type of person. But don't piss me off. Don't piss me off, okay? Because I'll pick up whatever the hell's laying around and do what I need to do with it. So anytime you feeling froggy, you just jump. Remember, we like our doors down here like we like our borders locked, but we will leave the light on for you.
3 good ones tonight with her.
Watching today, when they ask, what do we do?
Okay, I got 2 other short ones, and then the news guy on TikTok. Oh, We'll play him first, I guess. 7 minutes on this one.
Everybody, HG and HD for EPAC. This is EPAC, the news you need. I'm your host, HG Gerner. It's May 18th, the year of our Lord 2026. And this is in response to a post by Mr. Andrew at Don't Walk, Run on X. He's talking about a Mr. Justin Pearson, a legislator from Tennessee, just going off the rail. I mean, this poor gentleman, ever since the SCOTUS ruling came down, he's lost his mind. He thinks people of color don't have the right to vote. It's a mess. He's making. If you watch this, you can see Mr. Pearson get in the face of one of his fellow legislators, and this is a problem. I'm educated in Marxist political warfare. I'm going to read you something here. This gentleman, Andrew, Don't Walk, Run, said that he made the claim that Mr. Pearson, Jay Pearson, is garbage. Well, and I guess you're entitled to say that. I don't mean to laugh. This is very serious because I said that's garbage is the incorrect term. Let me put it to you. Listen to what I wrote, and this is becoming more and more escalated. This will lay it down precisely for you because I've studied the law, etc. I've talked with my judges, people on my team. It's pretty bad. But remember this: our rights are still intact. They always have been. People of color everybody still has the right to vote. These Marxists are just getting way out of hand. Stay with me, okay? Listen. Andrew, your claim to garbage is, in my opinion, incorrect. Technically, Justin Pearson is dangerous. He's dangerous. Now that his one and only weapon has been taken away, his hatred for and on several levels has turned him into a sociopath. Impulsive, combative, threatening. Next step, violent. The SCOTUS ruling just reinforced the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and 1875. People of color and all Americans still have the right to vote. He and others like him around the United States and in Congress, Hakeem Jeffries, all have basically declared, maximum warfare all the time. Here it is. Hakeem Jeffries, maximum warfare everywhere all the time. This is a problem. These Marxists, let me repeat that. He and others like him around the United States and in Congress, members of Congress, like Hakeem Jeffries, have declared maximum warfare everywhere all the time. It's a problem. Let me continue. These Marxists' main and only weapon was to threaten you with "you're racist." That challenges a person's moral standing when the claimant has no evidence of proof. That is a really problem. Let me repeat that. When they claim that you're a racist and they don't have proof, that challenges your moral standing. And it is a huge problem. Stay with me. That puts the recipient on the defensive, and the person making the claim now has the floor because they are 99% of the time a person of color. That destroys all polite conversation. It's an anarchist way of creating chaos. Then he can make his demands. He then will apply more pressure and further claim no justice, no peace, which is on its face a crime. It's a mafia-style shakedown. In legal terms, it's an act of moral turpitude. Calling someone a racist without knowing the person's innermost values is, by definition, a threat. It instills fear in the recipient. It becomes a true threat when the claimant takes action. And that is what instills the fear. The recipient feels the claimant might act. That, on its very face, is a form of psychological or social warfare. It is a form of terrorism, which is, by definition, using violence or the threat of violence in the pursuit of political objectives. These Marxists, like Jay Pearson, know exactly how to wage this kind of warfare. And I am thoroughly educated in this type of asymmetric, unconventional warfare. This warfare, this asymmetric, unconventional warfare, went conventional about 3 years ago. This is the problem, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to put my link to my email down, my link to my website, where you can watch all 4 of our documentaries for free about Marxist political warfare. Then I'm going to put my email down there. Send me a reply. What do you think the term conventional means? Political warfare that I talk about in my documentaries, in my book, is an asymmetric, unconventional type of warfare. This type of warfare, and what we see with Hakeem Jeffries and various other people, okay, is going conventional. It went conventional starting about 3 years ago, and I talk about it. What does conventional mean? Let me know what you think. Send me an email.
Okay, that was our news guy at TikTok.
So if you're new here, in part 1, I went through the 800 and some odd Hillary Clinton emails that were on her server about Libya and Benghazi, had to start somewhere, got bored and analyzed them, found some really interesting things, and decided to do a series on them. Part 1 is about where she got her intelligence from and the timeline of Benghazi and how we were lied to. Part 2, I want to start going deeper into the weeds and get into Chris Stevens. So that's what part 2 is. Chris Stevens was the U.S. ambassador to Libya. He was handpicked by Clinton to be in this role because prior he was the liaison between the rebel groups during the Libyan revolution. So he knew all the military commanders. He talked directly with them. He knew who had what weapons, where they were. He knew everything. And then Hillary Clinton chose him to be the U.S. ambassador for Libya. The reason I started looking into this more, to be interesting to bring onto TikTok for you all, because I have very smart followers, is that for months he was saying, need more security. The British have pulled out. They were attacked, like broad daylight convoy attack. Red Cross has pulled out. 2 times the U.S. installations were attacked. Kind of big, like holes in the doors where 40 people could fit through. To me, that was practice. Welcome to part 2 of the Libya files.
Okay. She does short clips.
Has poured more than $20 million into this race to defeat Massey and have Ed Galerian win. Meanwhile, Ed hasn't debated Massey once. He's turned down, I think, 4 or 5 debates. He canceled his rally yesterday. He has ChatGPT write his social media posts. He even leaves ChatGPT prompts in the social media posts. He doesn't have a stance on anything except a draft. He wants to implement a draft. Like, they just handpicked him. They were handpicked him and were like, where can we get a yes man who has some military background, because that's what we're going to use, and then let's pour a bunch of money into him. And 98% of the time they've won in the past, but we've woken up because Thomas Massey exposed what was happening in the government and how AIPAC bought everyone off. Doesn't take AIPAC money. He's the only Republican to not do that. He went against Trump to release the e-files, and now he's being punished for it. And it's insane and scary to see. And if it comes out that we're going to vote someone like Ed in, who is obviously bought and paid for, I've got no hope for us anymore. I don't think Kentucky will do that to
1
us,
minute.
but the crazy thing is when you look at his donor profile, only 2.5% of his donations come from inside of Kentucky. 2.5%. I'm not even talking inside his district. I'm talking inside of Kentucky. 85% of his large donors are typical Democrat donors. They donate to Democrats, but they're donating to Ed. Why? Like, none of it makes sense. None of it makes sense. And then for Trump to come out and say, Lauren Boebert is someone needs to run against her. She can't be in office. She's horrible, calling her all these names because she went to go and rally for Massey, her friend. Meanwhile, it's like, did you skip that year in politics, bro? Because that happened in March. She's running unopposed. What do you want, a Democrat to be voted in? He is such an insecure narcissist that he only wants yes men around him. And he calls them loyalists, but they're not loyalists. It's fear-based. It's fear-based. It's you do this, you do what myself and Adelson wants, this crazy lady from Nevada, or you're done. Is that how we're going to let our country be run? These influencers who are coming out against Massey, these big influencers, they're pouring so much money into them. They'll just take a paycheck for an opinion. And it's so obvious. And they will attack. Instead of coming back with arguments, they just attack the person. It's crazy. It's crazy to see. And I'm like, if this is where our country's going, we don't stand a chance. I mean, it'd be one thing if we were going to allow somebody who actually cared about the American people to do this. But Trump doesn't. He got us into a war that he said he wasn't going to get us into. Our economy is tanked. Lying about the job market. Gas is astronomical. Inflation is going up. And beef prices are almost like, a third more than they were just a month ago. And then we just sold our farmland to China and told them we were going to send them our beef. What? And we're starting a surveillance state, building them everywhere. Everywhere. Flock cameras, surveillance centers. What is happening? Markets are being manipulated, and Trump got rid of all of the regulation organizations that would look into anything him or his family are doing. And nobody's doing anything about it. And the people who do fight against it, he attacks and wants them out. What kind of government is that? It's not for the people. It's not for the people. And we're heading into stagflation, and it is going to get very ugly, which is worse than a recession. And it's going to get very ugly, all because people just eat up everything he says. Meanwhile, he doesn't give a fuck about you. So obvious. Anyway, Kentucky, my faith in democracy is in your hands. Please don't do us dirty. Stay tuned.
Okay, I got 2 with her. Okay, I guess I won't be playing her. I guess she's disobeying Trump, so I won't be playing her much anymore. Someone just texted me. Okay, let's go. I got 3 Q videos. Oh wait, we'll do Q after we get this one. I want to get this one in.
The internet for your home.
A chaotic clash. Police arresting anti-ICE protesters after they mobbed a New York City hospital Saturday night. But of course, Mayor Zohran Mamdani not missing a chance to go after the immigration agency.
So after mobs assaulted a hospital where a fugitive was being looked after, New York's mayor ignited something, and we're now seeing hordes of agitators roaming the city, altercating with everyone and everything they don't like, whether it's ICE, the police, you name it. But this hasn't gone unnoticed by America's border czar, and he says New York better get ready for something big.
Show your hands. Manos arriba.
All I'll say to Mr. Holman is that Donald Trump himself said he would not send a surge of ICE agents to the state of New York unless I ask. I'm not asking.
Well, Governor Hochul, I'm not asking either.
These kinds of actions, they are the actions of a reckless agency that is operating with impunity, one that deserves to be abolished, frankly, and that they do nothing to actually serve public interest.
It gets worse. Those protesters, they were literally blocking emergency exits and entrances.
If we're talking about the prospect of ICE coming here, we have to ensure New Yorkers actually know their rights. New Yorkers know what it means to be a sanctuary city.
No, bottom line, mass deportation, what they're going to get. We're going to flood the zone in New York. We have to. We've already arrested over 6,100 illegal alien criminals and taken them off the streets in New York.
So New York's governor is putting the entire state on red alert. Look at that. But, well, proponents of sanctuaries love to defend them, saying immigration is not my problem because that's a federal thing. There's zero proof these are good for America at all. And because these places won't turn over federal fugitives if they arrest that person. Sanctuaries are by default the safest locations. Those who commit crime can set up shop if they're here illegally. Plus, our revolving door justice system protects all of our criminals, and it's going to make sure they stay on the streets instead of behind bars, as they build up rap sheets that will make your head spin. On top of that, New York is now loaded with a critical mass of people who hate the American way of life. They hate capitalism. They think other people's money should be their money. They're actively voting for it. And everybody here wants a wide open border now. And here's the problem with that. A sanctuary cannot exist both for the benefit of the country it's in and those who are illegally inside that country at the exact same time. And when you add to that the idea that New York needs more and more tax money to fund programs that are for every single resident, regardless of their status, by default, those legally working and paying taxes while dealing with New York's never-ending unaffordability are going to be the ones who end up paying for everything. And that brings us to the real reason the border czar says a surge is coming to New York. Sanctuary cities, they're not helping out with the affordability thing. They're also not helping out with the crime thing. They are a magnet for criminals all over the country to come to places like this because they could set up shop here in a way that they can't anywhere else. Yet crime and affordability are two things the politicians here love to talk about, but so far just keep making worse. Take, for example, the idea of frozen rents. If you're not also going to freeze taxes and mortgages for landlords, pretty soon you're not going to have any more landlords. At the same time, loading our justice system with even more non-jail solutions to crime just means criminals now have less of an excuse to not do the thing that's destroying our city from within, while jacking up the cost of everything people pay for, like the ice cream in this locked freezer. And as you walk down the street and you see the empty plots of land that should be apartment buildings but aren't for some reason, it starts to become pretty clear that New York City's problems, its crime problems, its affordability problems, all of these are self-inflicted by a thought process that does not work. Speaking of which...
And this person that these protesters or quote-unquote protesters were trying to protect, he had a prior, I think, arrest or conviction for assault and tried to run over the ICE agents. And this is a person that they're trying to protect. It's really shameful. Mondami's shameful.
Yeah, that was not an ICE raid. ICE was at a hospital, yes, but the hospital was raided by the mob who was hunting them down. Sometimes when making an arrest, ICE agents or the fugitive they've apprehended need to be checked out. This patient was discharged, they were fine, healthy, and ICE was in the process of leaving when the mob surrounded the hospital, raided it, trashed the street outside, and attacked police officers. And even though these mobs and the mayor they voted for have it backwards, ICE really does help public safety by getting somebody who's dangerous off the streets. That doesn't matter to people who've decided to believe things that are not true. Watch this.
A video shows the encounter between ICE agents and a man in the Bronx. Braulio Escoboza, who works at this barbershop nearby, tells me he saw it all. When he came out of his business, he says he recognized the man on the ground, who's been part of their community for years. The incident happened on Wednesday along Hull Avenue, close to East Gun Hill Road, in the Norwood section of the Bronx. The man, identified as Jerry Concepcion, just turned 20 years old. He was born and raised in the United States, according to his family.
So why is he running from the immigration police? What on earth could the immigration police do to somebody who's born and raised in the United States? Nothing. This is like not even a case immigration police should be involved in, unless, of course, they're looking for someone and they ask you to stop and you immediately run away. Like, who runs away from law enforcement and doesn't expect law enforcement to try and do something about that? This is a bad situation. It's tragic. And if you can be raised in the United States and believe that law enforcement is your enemy, there's a real problem. Whoever's teaching people that is on the wrong side of history. And as you watch this tape, you can see that this individual immediately started running. And if ICE is out there trying to identify somebody who could be a public safety threat, and they're not allowed in the New York City jails because we're a sanctuary city, they got to do this job on the street. And if people identify themselves, they don't have to be taken into custody. They weren't even arrested either. They were handcuffed, yes, identified, and let go. That was all that needed to happen. Just show your ID and it's over. But there are some people who say that the ideas in people's heads come from their elected officials.
We just received word that Tom Homan made some comments at a speech he's giving, saying that he is sending in a surge of ICE agents to the state of New York. Should we have the, if this legislature passes what I introduced in January, known as local cops, local crimes. The premise behind this is simple, that local law enforcement is there for one purpose, that is to help protect our communities.
Local cops, local crimes. If that passes, apparently the border czar says there's going to be more ICE agents here, not less. Now, why is that? Well, you see, the governor of our state is in a tough position. She's trapped between a Mamdani and a hard place, but she's out here criticizing the border czar because of this new law, which looks like it's going to pass. And once it does, it's going to ban the federal government from using city property or state jails in any capacity to do their job. Now, ICE is already banned from doing their job inside New York City jails because this is a sanctuary city. But there are other parts of the state that cooperate. This is going to be a statewide ban. Furthermore, this law is going to remove all protections from federal agents when they do their jobs and is going to allow the radicals on the streets to sue them for quote unquote constitutional violations, which we're told happen every single time ICE is spotted by anybody in New York City. And the lies people believe about law and order, the border, and immigration in general are about to become law here, which is what the borders are so upset about.
Tom, she says she's not asking, so essentially butt out.
Well, Governor Hochul, I'm not asking either. I said it, we're going to do it. No, she wants to sign legislation. She supports this legislation it's going to lock us out of jails. It's going to end 287G agreements. And it's going to prevent us from arresting a criminal alien in safety and security of a jail. We have partnerships in New York, throughout the state.
Yep.
Not everywhere, but she wants to end the partnerships we currently have, which means now we got to send a whole team to look for a criminal that we could have arrested in the safety and security of a jail.
And now they've got to go on the streets, into neighborhoods, in front of barbershops, and do the one thing that everybody here says is bad news. Now, this, to the people who do not like ICE, is exactly what they want. They want to force this agency to go out onto the streets and to do their job in public instead of in a jail where the criminal is already located. And the reason they want to do that is because they want people to hate the federal government. They think they can use this as momentum to steal the country back from the president who was just voted into office. But at the same time, criminals all over the place roaming the streets, that's bad news. That's a public safety nightmare. Something's got to be done about that. You can't put the whole country at risk with sanctuary cities that tell criminals that if they can just get across the border one more time, there is financial reward and the prospect of further criminal opportunity on the horizon. You can't do that. That's bad for all of America, and it puts every area of the country at risk, not just these sanctuaries. At the same time, this is an election year, and the people you see, the mobs on the streets of New York, they very well may decide who becomes the next governor of this state. And the governor is very well aware of that, which is why I mentioned that she's trapped. She kind of has no choice here, even if she very well believes everything she's standing behind and sponsoring. But the border czar says if this law passes, it's going to be the worst thing for the sanctuary status of New York that the city could ever imagine.
So safer for the officers, safer for the aliens, certainly safer for the community. So you're forcing us into the neighborhoods to find this person, which means since we lost the efficiencies of the jails, that you want to lock us out of. Now we got to send whole team out there to find this person. So of course we're going to increase manpower a lot. And not only that, she says she wants to protect the migrant communities. Really? Because now we arrest an illegal alien. We can't rent a bed from any of the sheriffs in New York State. So what are we going to do? We're going to arrest that illegal alien. We're going to fly them to Texas, Arizona, to one of the detention facilities there, away from their families, away from their attorneys. This is what we have to do because she forces this position. And
so they're forcing ICE to separate families, and then they're going to get out there and they're going to say, ICE is separating families. They arrested a member of our community and they flew him halfway across the country. How terrible. Meanwhile, that never had to happen, but it looks like it's going to happen. And the interesting thing about this is it could be good politically for the people in this state who want to make problems for the federal government, want to be a sanctuary city, and want to talk about how lawless the Trump administration is, knowing that the voters here are going to respond to that and are going to get all excited to go and elect these people. And at the exact same time, the rest of America is watching this and saying, why do we have places in the country where federal laws don't apply? Why do we have a two-tiered justice system? That's what this is. How come people are allowed to break the law in one part of the country and destroy the country if they live over here? This is just crazy. This is a bad situation. This is bad for every single person, no matter where they live, which is going to almost motivate people to vote against this if they don't live here and they look at this and they understand what's going on, and just what a problem it is for national security, homeland security, affordability, you name it.
They're going to push it. And I think, Tom, they want to create another summer of love situation with more protests, get people hopped up in the streets, and see if they can roll this right into the midterms. That's what I think this is all about in the end.
Yeah, that's a good point, because you know what? You're going to have all these mobs on the streets. You're going to have speeches by local leaders that say, we've got the momentum. We're going to take this country back. We're going to stop Trump. And this is the year that we do it. They think they're going to accomplish this with outrage for border policies that the country overwhelmingly voted for and support. But what does the border czar think about this?
Well, we're going to enforce the law regardless. And, you know, she wants to put fear in the migrant community. She wants to get American people to turn against ICE because she talks about stay out of the churches, stay out of the hospitals, stay out of the schools. I want her to give me one example. I want one example anywhere throughout the United States since President Trump's been in the Oval Office. Give me one example anywhere where ICE has arrested somebody in a hospital, where ICE has arrested somebody in elementary school, where ICE has arrested somebody in church.
You know something? There's people watching this who say if there's a church in New York City and that church is a base for federal fugitives and it's harboring them, perhaps I should have to go in there and enforce the law. Why should a place that bills itself as a religious institution be allowed to engage with and help harbor criminals from the federal government? There's people who are watching this that are going to say, you know what? We know that there is so much lawlessness in these sanctuaries. We want ICE to go further. And this is that duality that I'm talking about here. In New York, the outrage machine, that's what this is designed for. But in the rest of the country, people are watching this and they're saying, you know, this just shouldn't be allowed. Breaking the law is breaking the law. It doesn't matter where it happens.
Island. You can't square that and end our partnerships on 287G with some of the biggest jails in that state.
That's the jail
Now, CNN
policy.
correspondents are now saying that ICE is changing its approach, Tom. Watch.
Oh, yeah?
We are seeing less of those sweeping raids that we saw last year and more of that targeted, quiet approach to immigration enforcement. But of course, that doesn't mean that it's only public safety and national security threats that are being detained. It is also a lot of others who don't have criminal history.
I love the idea of criminal history. This is always brought up as a reason to say that, oh, what ICE is doing is against the law because they're arresting people that may not have a criminal history. Well, guess what? If you've got a gang and they're all on security camera and they're robbing a bodega and they're stealing money from the cash register and they're stealing the valuables of the people who work there, and these people haven't been arrested yet, they're criminals. They just don't have a criminal history yet because they have not been convicted of that crime. And at the exact same time, it's federal law that says this. The Lake and Riley Act says that if somebody is in the country illegally and they are accused of committing a crime or charged with a crime, they have to be taken into federal custody. And there's nothing illegal about that because it's federal law.
That innocent people now are being targeted, but more quietly.
That's not true at all.
This has to be the most powerful smartwatch the world has ever seen. Just pop it on your wrist and in 3 seconds, It accurately tracks 24 vital health stats, blood sugar trends.
It's a lie.
The bottom line, mass deportation, what they're going to get. I talk to Mark Wayne Mullen every day. We have a strategy. Numbers are down slightly because the government was shut down. DHS was shut down. The officers are getting paid, but people do the targeting. The smart people who run these databases help us target where to find people that want to be found. That's all been unpaid. But look, I've been working very closely with Mark Wayne Mullen. We got a strategy. New York's going to be one of them. Look, and we're going to flood the zone in New York. We have to. We have to arrest criminal public safety threats.
Right. How do you do that? How do you say that, okay, there's an area of the country where a criminal public safety threat can go, and if they go there, hey, we're not going to touch them. We might go after them if we're in Florida. We might go after them if they're in Texas because we've got the cooperation of the local police over there. But in New York, they really don't like us. So if criminals want to go there, that's okay. We're just going to let that happen. No, that's a terrible idea. That's a nightmare for national security, because if you have areas of the country where criminals are allowed to set up shop, that tells criminals who aren't in the country yet or who might be running some sort of cross-border operation that, hey, if we could just get inside, we got our infrastructure over here, we got our infrastructure over here. Like, just think of what an asset that is to cartels and these organizations that have no place in America and do not make our country better and are the ones that were making $13 billion a year when the border was wide open. Why do we want to support countries like that, which then take all the money that they make and make things worse in America and make things worse in their home countries, like in Mexico, for example? This is all a disaster, and it's crazy that sanctuary cities think they're on the right side of that disaster.
Which is safer for the officers, safer for the aliens, certainly safer for the community. So you're forcing us into the neighborhoods to find this person, which means since we lost the efficiencies of the jails that you want to lock us out of, now we got to send a whole team out there to find this person. So of course, we're going to increase manpower a lot. And not only that, she says she wants to protect the migrant communities. Really? Because now we arrest an illegal alien. We can't rent a bed from any of the sheriffs in New York State. So what are we going to do? We're going to arrest that illegal alien. We're going to fly them to Texas, Arizona, to one of the detention facilities there, away from their families, away from their attorneys. This is what we have to do because she forces this position. And
so he says that this is not the federal government being mean to New York. What he's saying is that, look, we have to go and arrest people that are dangerous. We have to go looking for them. And, you can go to the ICE worst of the worst list. You can see some of the people that they're arresting. These are not people that anybody would want to live next to in a tiny New York apartment and have this person right across the hall. And you know what? If law enforcement gives up, it's no longer law enforcement. It's not. It's just some agency that's not doing its job and isn't enforcing the law at all, because that's the primary reason that they exist. We cannot have areas of the country where law enforcement's off the table. Can't have parts of the country that are home bases for these criminal organizations. And we can't have places that help these criminals in any way and want to hide them and tell them that it's okay to live here. Oh, yeah, federal law doesn't apply. Just come on over here. You'll be safe. We'll protect you. I mean, what an absolute disaster that is. What do you think about that? Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.
Okay, important moment, Cat. You guys, I'm going to save. I want to get the YouTube lady has a good one tonight. Actually, she had two, but it's 24 minutes. So this will be the last one. And then tomorrow, we'll see what happens. I might just do 5. Hopefully, we get more. Since we had Mel, it was an hour tonight. But we're going to get the YouTube lady. We'll see what happens tomorrow.
That's all about patience and preparation paying off. It's easier to play when you've got a plan.
I love how much I can bundle and save on insurance at Liberty Bibbity.
And I love that you love how much you can bundle and save.
I love that you love it.
I love that you.
I can't.
Yeah, you are gonna stop. Okay. So don't brand me.
In today's body cam video, we have a woman who called 911 claiming that she was run over, attacked, and victimized, painting herself as an innocent bystander in a terrifying situation. Only for witnesses to come out and be like, no, she started all of this. And that's when the story starts falling apart.
On June 9th, 2022, officers responded to a battery.
As the officer made contact with the female involved, she advised him that somebody had tried to run her over with their van, but this was contrary to what the witnesses had to say. According to the pedestrians, the female was the one who started the altercation by striking the victim's van. Here's how the events unfolded.
Okay, do you want to talk over here? What's going on?
I'm walking in the crosswalk, and I yelled, I'm like, hey, people are walking.
Okay.
He honks the horn, and then he hits me right in the knee with his car.
With his car?
And then he gets out and throws me up against the wall, and then throws me on the ground.
Okay. Do you have an ID with you?
I do. I want to press charges, and I want him arrested.
I'm gonna go see if there's a video camera. So she's saying this is a victim. So she's saying.
You request an ambulance?
So
he
what happened?
grabbed me by my neck, threw me against the wall, and then threw me to the ground.
Okay, do you want to get checked out in the ambulance?
Please.
Okay.
Is it cool if I come with you? Are you guys cool if I?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
I was walking. Pretty much like he was back about 4 or 5 feet. Okay. And I'm like, dude, someone's walking. You know, I'm like in a daze. And then he honked the horn trying to scare me, so I stopped, and then that's when he hit me and pushed me back with the car. And then she's like, oh, you hit my hood, you hit me. She's like, you're a liar. And then he gets out and he grabs me. Okay. You're walking where by the vehicle? Walking, like, see right where that woman? Yep. Right, pretty much. Okay, so in front of the vehicle. Okay. And he didn't stop. He kept coming. Okay, so you said that that's when he tapped a little bit more than tapped. Yeah. And that happened, and what side of your body was that on? It was like pretty much I stopped. I'm like, what the and then he rammed it like right at me. Okay, and so you're in the front. Yes. Okay. He gets out, takes his hat off like he's gonna fight. Do me one favor. Let's rewind. When she got out of the car and you made contact with her. Oh, no, she didn't. She didn't get out of the car. Okay, so then you're standing in front. She's in the car. He gets out of the car, walks around. I was on the passenger door because she's like, you hit my leg. Okay. Hit me. Okay. She's like, what are you gonna do? Okay.
One of the officers took the victim's statement, from which it was clear that the female was the real perpetrator.
So I know it's really overwhelming, and I know that they're asking you a ton of questions, and now I step in and ask you a ton of questions. Stay with me, though, okay? Can you do that? Okay. You guys want to deep breath? No, I'm just saying, like, I know that it's a lot, okay? Take a big deep breath. He grabbed me. Okay, where did he grab you? My neck. Okay, and then after that, what happened? Wall, and then to the ground. Correct. He put you against the wall and then put you on the ground by your neck. People came out, took the tag, and get him off me. Okay. And then someone called 911? I did. Okay. I don't know who else did, but there's plenty of witnesses. Okay. Are you guys good?
We're good.
Okay. Step out with me, okay? Thank you guys so much. Of course.
Booking.com has all kinds of stays for those who love family resorts and for those who do not. There we go. Find exactly what you're booking for. Booking.com, booking.yeah.
You guys have video or what?
No video. He stopped, so we have two witnesses, plus the victim. He stopped like this, letting his wife out. She's walking across, he lets her arm cross, but she comes, like something happens where he honks the horn at her.
She's got...
Because she's attacked him.
Okay.
So then he's honked her horn, and so she starts banging on the hood of his car, like screaming, you. He gets out of the car and like, what the fuck? She punches him in the face. He has a huge laceration to his nose.
Okay.
He then pushes her away, probably from this, and then she comes back and starts kicking him in the balls and fighting him. So, and he's only pushing her away for safety.
Well, we're still trying to figure things out, and we're trying to piece everything together. Right now, we just wanted to make sure that you had the adequate medical attention, and we're still trying to get it.
I said, man, people are walking. I didn't say it. I'm like in a daze. You know, my mom just died.
Okay.
And then he honks the horn, and then he guns it at me.
Every witness says the same thing.
Okay. Well, I walk up to her and she's got it.
Damn.
She put up a fight. She kicked him in the balls and everything. Oh, this is not looking good for her. This is not looking good for her at all. Literally every single witness is saying the exact same thing. Oh, and she was the one that called 911 too? Oh, that's gonna be a bruise to her ego.
I was fine. So we have multiple witnesses, okay, saying that you were the aggressor in this scenario. So at this point, you're going to be placed under arrest.
I can't.
You are going to be placed under arrest. Okay.
Don't brand me.
Listen.
Jack me.
You do not want a separate charge. Okay. Stop fighting. Turn around now and put your hands on your back.
Did she just say she's on probation? Oh no, honey. Oh no, why'd you call the cops at all? See, this is what I don't understand, right? Okay, so she's on probation. If I heard her correctly, she said she's on probation, right? So if you know, like in your brain, well, maybe she doesn't know, maybe her brain is broken, but a normal brain would say, I kicked and punched this guy, kneed him in the balls, did all the things. I don't want the police to be involved because I could end up going to jail. Even if she didn't start it, she could have been prosecuted for hurting somebody. So wouldn't you want to lay low and not involve the police? That's what my common sense tells me. Clearly, she is lacking common sense.
You're under arrest.
Turn around.
You do not want an extra charge. Stop fighting the officer.
God damn it!
Turn around. Turn around.
You're under arrest. Listen to the police.
What about this?
Under arrest. Listen to the police.
For what?
For battery.
Battery? What about him?
Aggravated battery.
You better take pictures of me.
We will. I will. Just cooperate with the officers.
I understand, but you don't want to get an extra charge, okay? Stop resisting.
Can you take me to my car?
Stop. Listen.
No, you're not.
You are not cooperating right now.
I'm
Dimitri?
asking.
Can you get your transport car ready?
I can't.
Right over there, guys.
Please let go of my elbow, please.
Right over there, guys.
My officer.
I can't.
The woman was taken to the police unit and then transferred to jail.
Where's the video? Can you? This hurts. It's digging in.
That's what I want to know. Where's the video? I want to see the video.
To my hand, please.
Okay, please go and sit.
Aggravated battery. There is no activity at this location.
Do anything.
Sit in the car.
The guy hit me with the small.
Hang on.
We're not gonna.
Time out. We're not going to undo these cuffs. Okay. Let's get her in the
What
car.
do you think I'm gonna do?
Relax. I'm giving direction. We're going to put her in the car. She's nice and cooperative right now. Let's put her in
Sit in
there.
the car.
And then I'm going to give.
Why does he get arrested? Can you loosen this one, please?
Listen, this is the deal, okay? You have to listen to me.
They know I'm going to jail.
Take a deep breath.
Please
Take a deep breath. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
Please don't arrest me.
We talked about it, okay? You have to chill out.
What's the ground?
What's your name?
Miranda.
Hey, I just showed up. I really don't know what's going on. I'm just driving you.
I just don't want to get arrested. He threw me to the ground. He got out of the car. Why am I going to go to prison? I have nobody.
Lori.
Please don't arrest me. Please, dear God. Please.
Can you turn the AC on back here?
Can you pull my sweatshirt down?
I don't know. I've never been back before.
Could you pull my sweatshirt down?
9-7. Chill. Here, sit up. Sit back. Chill
I don't
out.
even have money to bury my mom. I can't even mourn. I'm walking and somebody almost hits me. How is that? The aggressor. Did you see the video?
Lori, you have to take some deep breaths, okay? If you want to talk about this, what we can do is we'll get settled into the police department. I'm going to read you your Miranda rights, and then we can talk about it, okay?
Please don't arrest me. Please, dear God, they're going to send me to jail.
So listen.
Please.
Lori, we've already, we're past the arrest part, okay?
He hit me first.
I'm going to read you Miranda if you want to talk.
Please, just don't arrest me, please. Please, dear God, don't. I'll never get to see bury my mom.
Lori, tell me about your mom.
My mom.
Tell me about her. What was her name?
Laura.
Laura. So I lost my mom in it'll be 5 years in this month.
I have a really bad back. My nerves are pinched.
Look at me. We're 3.5 minutes away. If the more you move with the cuffs and the purse,
I'm sweating.
I understand. He's got the AC on. Give us 3.5 minutes. We'll be at the police department, okay?
This officer Zelensky, I like her. She's firm. She's doing her job. She's trying to keep her calm. She's talking to her. I dig her. I want to be Officer Zelensky's friend. I like her.
Well, all right, guys, you get a lot of views on
Sensitivities? Let's go to PetSmart. Try Hill's Science Diet Sensitive Stomach and...
I made the coffee. I'm like, Ma. And Ma.
I know that. I would say the same thing.
And then I go in there and she's frozen.
The female officer tried to reason with the suspect.
So here's the deal, okay? Because you have a pretty decent officer that's investigating this, okay?
Please.
Myself. Listen, you stop talking. Listen to me. Stop talking. I am telling you that if you're cooperative with me, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that everything I do is looked into. Do you understand? Hey, do you understand me?
Please, you're still going to arrest.
But listen to me. You are under arrest already.
Oh, come on, please
I
don't.
can't I'm not going to unarrest you.
Please don't put it in the books.
Lori,
please, dear
listen
God.
to me. I can assure you that I'm going to look into everything, okay? But you have to stay calm. Listen. Stop. We're gonna. We're going to. Stop. Stop it.
Why is that like that?
Because she was resisting. And
I
it was on
wasn't
her
resisting.
shoulder.
It was on my
It
shoulder.
was on her.
Serious stuff. Yeah.
But I just got my kicked by a 6'5" man. And you're going to lock me up?
I just got my ass kicked by a 6'5" man and you're gonna lock me up? Well, it's what happens when you are clearly the aggressor. According to multiple witnesses, he was all kinds of beat up. Even the police officer saw marks all over him. Where are the marks on you, honey? I don't see them.
Can you please take this off?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Let me shut the door. We got it right. Let's go inside and get it off.
Lori.
You have no idea.
Lori, I'm not yelling at. I'm asking Lori. If you want, listen to me. Lori, I'm not taking the handcuffs off until you follow directions.
And I'm in excruciating pain.
Okay, then I would recommend you follow directions.
Can I lean forward?
Did I say for you to lean forward?
I need to.
You need to relax, or I'm not taking the handcuffs off.
I'm glad you'll be here and come right now. Sit tight and you're doing fine. Just keep your hand just like that. I'm going to take the handcuffs right off you, okay? As soon as I take the handcuff off, please do me a favor and put your hand right above.
I need you to take your shoes off. Okay.
Am I being locked up?
So you are under arrest.
But am I going home?
I don't know right now.
Oh my
okay,
God, I just want to get home.
Lori, stand back on these footprints. Okay. Keep your hands on the wall. Bring this foot, the back of that foot back towards me. Bend your knee.
I have really bad knees. Please.
Yeah. Can you bend this leg? Bring this up to me. Just like that. Keep your hands. I don't want you to fall. Balance. All right. I need you to do the same thing with the other foot. Back up. You're good. Just like that. All right. I promise they're going to be in safekeeping. So everything that you're...
I just want to go home.
Lori, listen to me. I need you to take your rings off. Everything that you came in with, you're going to leave with. Is that an Italian horn? You need help with that? Okay. Do you have a belly ring or anything crazy like that? Okay. I need your hair scrunchie. I see you don't have earrings on or anything like that.
What am I going to tie my hair up with?
I know. We have rules and precautions that we have to take. Let's get settled first. We have some paperwork to do, okay? We have some paper. I understand that. All right?
This guy
hits me. Okay, sweetheart. Can you grab our blankets?
I can't. Do you have water?
Well, yeah, I'll get you some water. Let's get settled in first. I want to make sure.
How long are we going to be here?
Sweetheart, I don't know, okay?
You right?
There you go, okay? They're nice and fluffy and as comfy as they can be.
You got the new one.
Give me 2 seconds, okay?
While going through the female's handbag, Officers found a lot of unprescribed drugs.
This is going to be one of these where we're going to really take our time with her property.
Yes.
On body camera.
Yes.
Because she's going to come in a month.
I can, if you want, I'll be very exact. I'm pretty good with
So
like
what I
cards
need you
and
to
stuff.
do, actually, I'm going to go in there real quick because I want to make sure there's a resisting charge on her too. I mean, several
No,
times.
there is a
Jerk back. Luckily, we didn't have to use force on her. But we definitely had resistance. Oh, that's bad. She wouldn't get that even if she needed it. Who knows what that is? There's a hodgepodge.
There is.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah, there's like a number of different.
Yeah, we're gonna have to take time with that. Is anybody accusing you of selling drugs?
Call the state's attorney, and then they're gonna bring drug charges on me.
Well, and luckily, if you have prescriptions,
Can I call us?
that's a very easy thing then to get thrown away.
So she said that she was on probation once before. Again, unless I completely misheard her. She sure sounded like she said she was on probation. Do we think she was on probation for something like violence, battery, assault? Or do we think she's just on probation for something like her unprescribed medications? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What do we think? I don't know. I mean, she doesn't seem like an aggressive person, but clearly she beat the crap out of some 6'5" dude. Ooh, and she's on meds. I don't know what the prior charge would have been for. But clearly this is not her first time in here. She was terrified to go back.
I wouldn't worry about that at all.
Get it thrown away. You're charging me with drugs?
I didn't say that. I said we have to call the state's attorney.
Can I just call Osco and see if they'll even answer?
It's just, let's slow it down a little bit. I want to just talk to you about what we're doing with those drugs, okay? As long as you...
I don't have my glasses.
I'll get you your glasses. Okay, sit down right there. I'd like you to look for your prescriptions.
I need my glasses.
I'm going to get your
Okay,
glasses.
but I can't see.
I'm getting them right now. But I'm giving you some instructions because you're in our custody. I want you to stay on the bench. I'm going to leave this open for a moment, okay?
She's got two
Not
separate
if
types.
if you want to do that many charges, maybe just call the SA.
Well, they may lump it in one charge instead
then
of
just-
10, but it'll be up to the drug assay.
Okay.
I take a picture of that and then we'll be able to explain it to them.
Right now, you have one accounted for.
Okay, but I thought there was more. I'm sorry, my mom. I don't even know.
Okay, I understand that, but you have, you can. I would need to see. I would need to see more like this
Well, what if you speak to the pharmacy?
and ask them what.
The same thing I'm gonna ask them. Can you go over?
Well, here, this is what I need to see. I need to see.
I don't have them. I deleted them. What do you not understand? I can call the pharmacy and put it on speaker.
Okay. Here.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, here's what you have to understand now. That you, the burden is on you,
Well,
not us. And I don't like you talking to this
Well, I don't
officer
like
in that
him telling me what I.
The senior officer tried to explain the situation to the female.
Well, he's saying you need it because
But I can't get it. I
okay,
can
well then
call-
you'll get charged with it.
I'm gonna call the pharmacy.
No, we're not gonna call the pharmacy.
Why? The number's right
We're not
there.
calling the pharmacy. You have a whole mess of drugs
Oh
right
my
there.
God! Why
Right, so
are you
sit down on
charging
that.
me with my prescription? I called the pharmacy.
No.
Please, I don't
You
abuse anything.
you can make
Oh
phone
my
calls
God.
from that phone over there.
Call that phone number for.
Man, this just keeps getting worse for her, doesn't it? Damn.
Let me call the pharmacy.
We're not gonna call a pharmacy. You can call a pharmacy from that phone and talk to them.
Okay.
Okay. Or you could also make some phone calls to family if you, or friends or whoever else you need. But you need to remain calm with
But I
us.
told them that's all I have. I usually delete them. I've got 9,000 messages. I just want to go home. Those are mine.
Okay. Did you want to write a statement out about what happened at
I
Sam's
do. I
Club?
would really like you to take the picture.
I will.
I need to
Yes.
go home,
All right.
please.
Are you going to remain quiet and everything? We're going to go in this room where there's a table to write, okay? I'm going to get some paperwork. Have a seat back down. Watch the door. I'm going to get paperwork, camera. What do you think? I would say if it was, let me just, this is for future.
Yeah.
This is just how we all, you got all guys got careers ahead of yourself. If it was that she had prescriptions for all these except for this one, I would err in the side of caution and allow her to call a pharmacy. But if it's reversed, she only has a prescription for one and these not
No.
charge.
Yeah.
And I mean because hydrochloride. See, again, these ones from just my experience, she's not necessarily getting high, but you need a prescription. But these are the ones that we're worried about that there's abuse, which I think based on.
You can't be prescribed both at the same time.
Well, you can. Listen, Lori, okay? They're not all, you're absolutely right. Listen, he's not going to report to the state's attorney that you have Pepcid AC, I promise, okay? Listen. At this point, we don't even know, Lori, we don't even know if you're going to be charged right now with it, okay? So you have to chill out. I told you, as long as I know it sucks, but you got to work with me, because if you're calm, this is my boss, okay? He's the one in charge here, and he's not going to let you come out and write a statement and take pictures unless you chill out.
Soon the female was taken to the police unit.
Did you know that coin lithium batteries can cause life-threatening burns to a child if swallowed?
I had no idea. That's really scary.
Energizer Ultimate Child Shield, the only coin lithium battery with no burn technology.
Energizer feels like such a game changer.
If you could help save a child's life by using a battery that prevents burning, why wouldn't you?
It takes 90 seconds for this NASA-engineered AC cool down your room. It's smaller than a toaster, cools any room in 90 seconds, and uses just a fraction of the energy of a regular AC.
I want shotgun. No, this way. Sorry, I didn't grab you. I'm trying to stop you because I don't want you to come over. Front seat, please. Hold back. One leg at a time. You're good. One leg at a time. I just don't want you to hit your head, so I'm going to make sure you don't. More worried about my leg. All right, you're good. All right, remember, don't be moving your hands or your wrists around because it's going to make it more uncomfortable. All right, give me 1 second, okay?
He needs to get re-educated because he can ruin someone's. Oh, look at the ducks or the geese. Oh.
Squirrel, he needs to be re-educated. Oh, look at the goose. Focus, lady, focus. You might be charged with like half a dozen different unprescribed narcotics. So let's stay on task here.
Oh, the bald guy? He looks like some actor, and I cannot figure it out.
Slide. Yep. Need help? You got it? 1, 2, 3. Oh. Careful.
The female was charged with aggravated battery, resisting arrest and possession of controlled substance.
Aggravated battery, resisting arrest, and possession of controlled substance. Dang, I want to know what the controlled substances were. And what sucks is, she kept saying that her mom just died. And it's just, oh God, I can't even begin to imagine the kind of hell that would befall upon.
All right, Fine Eagle. How long do you think she'll be gone? Okay, everybody. Well, we got some good stuff out tonight. We got the Mel. Everybody loves Mel. Mel was an hour and 20. We had a couple reverse gender. We got a couple Billies, and we'll do the Q videos tomorrow. So 5. I'm not sure if I'll have 2 tomorrow or not. Thank you, Jose, Mom. Jose. So thanks, mods. Okay, Flying Gold, Tim, Lucy, Carol. Oh, maybe 4 years. Yep. Okay, for signing off May the 18th. We have bless everybody, love all. Whoever please hit the like. Stay safe, stay strong, keep the faith. Never give up. And stay on high alert. I don't know. They said after Sunday. After Sunday, things are supposed to start rolling here. If I come up with any big videos, I'll be on early if I find anything. All right. Sign off, Chico Do for Monday evening. See you all tomorrow.